Somehow I'm on time. I don't actually know how because I literally have been stressing like crazy to make this happen. But it somehow did. So who knows? We're doing driver career today. I think we'll do some open lobbies in a bit. Maybe I should put that in my title actually. Open lobbies later question mark, because if I fall in love with doing this, maybe I'll just stay doing this. My webcam always does that. I don't move it, so I don't really know. It just seems to naturally drift across over the course of the night or something, I guess. I don't really know. In any case, we're here. We have made it to the being of liveness. And I need to tweet out the stream. That's what I need to do. Because I am live on Twitch with F123 starting out with some driver career today. Can we pick up some more wins on the road to F1? We'll be doing some open lobbies a little bit later. And then put the link to my account, of course. Otherwise, how will people be able to find it? All right, done. Tweeted, sent. Put it in Discord. That's things you do. Why'd I put my stream in there? I'm me, I'm not you. Right. Almost done. Done. Awesome. Let's go. Let's play. All right, quick. Don't look for 1 second if you don't want spoilers. Okay, there we go. We're good. Sorry. It does show the championship standings whenever you hover over something. Not that you would have been able to see, actually. Yeah? You don't know how many points I got. Isn't that good? Right. Yeah, in the most recent video that came out, I had 37. So I would still be here, irrespective, I think. Anyway, right. But here's where we were. It's the Austria feature race. So do we already do the sprint then, I guess? We did the sprint, and this is the feature. Well, I don't think there's anyone here.
Here we are.
So I don't know if there's much point in doing a cheeky prediction at the moment.
It's an amazing destination for the race today, and we're about to get
if people
started.
do show up, we can always do predictions for the later races. Thinking about doing streams this weekend, I don't know. When's the Grand Prix?
Up a total distance of 2.6 miles. Now, the wet conditions today are going to make the cars a bit skittish, especially through those downhill sections. Watch out for the cars.
Quali is tomorrow at 6. The sprint shootout is tomorrow at 2. The sprint is tomorrow at 6:30. Oh, sorry, not tomorrow. Saturday at 6:30. And then the race is at 6 on Sunday. So
Liam Lawson and Pourchaire.
I don't know. Streaming on Saturday might be tricky. Unless I did like a short stream in between the shootout and the sprint. As for Sunday, I guess I could do a stream before the race maybe, if it's at 6. Why not, you know?
Sargent and Jake Hughes completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Bit of cheeky weekend F1 manager, maybe?
Joining me for the race today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. Davide, it's great to have you with us for today's race. Any tips for our drivers out on the track today?
It's a real pleasure to be here, Alex. We are in for a spectacular day in Formula 2. My advice is to stay calm, look after the car, look after the tires, but don't be afraid to push when you see an opportunity. Using the DRS on some of those long straights will be crucial for the driver looking to make a challenge.
All right, 2 sets of wets to the end, 40 laps. Let's see if I have got pace in the wet. I know I'm on a dry setup. I don't know if it's going to stay wet the whole time, though. It looks like inter conditions, so
the formation lap gets underway for this.
It's either going to get heavier or it's going to get lighter.
Driver will no doubt be mindful of the wet surface as they prepare to race.
Driving on the wets in inter conditions is not very nice. Not very nice feeling. It just feels like you've got understeer all the time, basically. this will be an only understeer stream.
We are almost ready to start the Formula 2 race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
I tweet out the stream? Yeah, I did. Cool. Yeah, hopefully we get some people coming in to do some predictions and stuff, and we can chat about Qatar this weekend. I'm looking forward to it, you know? I don't know. I think, like I said, I don't think it's going to be the most riveting race in the world, but hopefully it's at least decent. Why have I got an Alpine logo on my car? I'm Ferrari Academy. FDA. And I'm not talking about whatever the American Food Standards Organization stands for. Returning to a foreign country. Not been here in a while. How's it going, Lewis? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a thrilling Thursday. I was trying to remember what day of the week it was. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a really good day. And it's good to have you here. Yeah, I mean, I've not streamed much until this week. I only came back like this week after taking a couple weeks off. Just some shit was happening, so I just panicked and ran away. But now I'm here and I'm ready to try and win this race. But it's not going to be easy. Yeah, no, it's not your fault. 40 laps? Yup. That's how it be. Bitches love 100% Grand Prix. Did the music just get really quiet? Okay, no, it's good. It's normal. Just a quiet start to the song, I guess. Might turn it up a bit. Is that like personal stuff? Hope you got it sorted. I was wondering if I was missing every stream. Just went streaming, didn't see any notices in Discord or anything. Yeah, it's just been a lot of stuff going on recently. I can divulge some of it, but not everything. But so basically, it kind of kicked off at the end of August with my. So I kind of called him my uncle because it's easy, but it was my mum's cousin, who he passed away quite unexpectedly, and then like after that happened, like we had the whole sort of like, you know, stuff for that. He had a funeral which I actually couldn't watch because it was at like I think it was at a time of day when it was like not particularly easy for me to access it. But then the family like came over to the UK and they scattered some of his ashes here. They live in Canada, but they came over to the UK. And yeah, I had like stuff I was doing with them, and you know, I was like, it's my family, and terrible things happened, so I want to try and spend some time with them. And then I don't know, a lot of it just kind of got me thinking about a lot of like this stuff. Like over the course of the year, I've obviously been streaming pretty much like every day or whatever, or at least every weekday mostly. Apart from like the occasional one here and there when I was like ill or whatever, but for the most part I've streamed like every day basically. So I was like, you know, and they, you know, this is family I hadn't seen in a while, and they were like asking me like what I do, because they were like, oh, are you they were like, are you a university student? I was like, no, I graduated. And they were like, oh, and what you know, what are you doing with your degree or whatever? And I was like, oh, well, I was an accountant for a bit, but then I quit that. And they were like, oh, okay, so what are you doing now? And there was something about it. I don't know why, but I just couldn't tell them that I've spent 10 months of my life streaming. And then I was thinking to myself, well, if I can't even tell my family that, like, is this necessarily like, I don't know. Like, even my dad doesn't know that this is what I've been doing for the last 10 months. I don't know what he thinks I have been doing, because like, I've not told him that I'm doing anything. You know what I mean? But I don't think I'm necessarily ashamed of it, because like all my friends know and stuff, right? Like, you know, and my girlfriend knew, and yeah, like everyone that I like speak to on a regular basis, you know, like all my friends who I like meet up with and go for lunch and stuff like that, you know, if they ask me what I'm up to, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. You know, I messaged a friend of mine who I used to work with, and you know, she knew that like I've been streaming. She was like, oh yeah, you still doing streaming? Like, how's that going and stuff like that. But I guess the thing is, like, if it's still not something I'm ready to like admit that I'm doing, because I wanted it to be like I didn't want to have to talk to anyone about it until like I didn't want it to be until I actually had like money coming in, basically.
Okay, I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be
I
careful
didn't-
you don't burn out your tyres.
I didn't want it to be the case of, you know, people asked me how I made money off of it, and then I had to be like, oh, well, that's kind of complicated, but basically I don't. So I kind of, you know, if ever anyone did used to ask me about that, I kind of just used to skirt around it a little bit. How's it going, by the way, Kromsky? Interesting first message, but welcome to the stream regardless. Good to have you here, and same with you, Kitty, welcome. Hope you're both having a thrilling Thursday. So yeah, I guess it kind of got me thinking a little bit. You know, I was already not in a great state of mind because of everything that had happened with my uncle. And then this kind of thing got me thinking about, like, you know, why is it that I don't feel able to tell people that this is what I do? I don't think it would put me off doing it. I just think it would. It's one of those things. I don't want to have a strained relationship with my family because they view what I do as not legitimate. You know what I mean? And it happened. It happened with my girlfriend's family, where I say it happened. It's so her parents have always been like super supportive of me doing this. Like, it's not her parents that were the problem. But I remember she met with her like aunt on one occasion. And her aunt was saying, like, you know, basically just saying all this stuff about how it's not a real job and stuff like that. And, you know, my girlfriend, like, really stood up for me or whatever. But I was kind of thinking to myself, you know, well, that's someone who knows what I'm doing. And they're willing to say to their own niece, like, the job that your boyfriend does for a living isn't a real job, basically. And that was, I don't know. It was, I said to her, like, I'm very thankful you stood up for me. But it's still a little bit disheartening. And so I kind of, I don't know, it kind of was a reflective moment for me where I was like, well, I've lost a lot of money. Not lost necessarily, but I could have spent these last 9 months working a job where I would have had an income. But instead I've been trying to make this work. And a lot of my money that I had saved is gone now.
Good job.
You know, I'm applying for other jobs and stuff now because I need to. Like, I'm gonna run out soon if I don't. So yeah, I'm in the process of trying to get another job, and yeah, it kind of made me think to myself, well, if I can't even tell people that this is what I'm trying to make a living off of, how the fuck am I gonna justify it to myself? You know what I mean? How the fuck can I justify all this time and money I'm putting into it if I'm still not even admitting to people that's what I'm doing? And so that kind of, I don't know, I guess it scared me a little bit because I was like, well, if this is, if I still don't view this as real, how can I come on here every single day and tell you guys? Yeah, that was pretty much. I'll refund those points, Kromsky. I don't want to listen to that song if that's okay. But yeah, so I was kind of like, it feels wrong of me to come on here every single day and be like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is the thing I love, and then, you know, behind closed doors, I don't even tell people that this is what I'm doing. No, dude. Look, it's no one person's responsibility, and if it's anyone's responsibility at all, then it's mine. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just getting a phone call. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to organize something real quick. I'm back now, but yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, what was I saying? Anyway, yeah, it's no one person's responsibility, and it's not really anyone's fault. You know what I mean? Like, if it's anyone's fault, it's mine. Like, that's the only person that you could possibly try and put the blame on, because, you know, maybe there were things I could have done better or could have done more. And to be honest, I don't even think that it's my fault necessarily. I've grown more than double this year in terms of follower count, in terms of average viewership, in terms of all that shit. So, yeah, I feel like if I have more time, it could still happen, you know? But in the interim, I need to get some kind of other job to keep myself going. You know what I mean? So I'm not. It's not me giving up or anything like that. You know, I'm not backing out of this stream. I may need to put a little bit more of my eggs in another basket. You know, I've had all my eggs firmly in the YouTube and Twitch basket for the last 9-10 months, and that will probably change now. And yeah, I think probably going forward, I'm probably going to try and pursue a different long-term career as well.
So we're leading our teammate by 0.7
because
seconds.
there is a world. Okay, DRS is enabled. We're going to box at the end of this lap. Yeah, what was I saying? There is a world in which this never happens for me. You know, it's never going to be something I can ever earn enough money off of to live. And maybe, you know, maybe I'll end up doing something else and I'll find that it's way less stressful than this or something like that. But I'm not quitting, you know? I'm not giving up.
Strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you, bro.
Got that confirmed.
But yeah, and then I don't know. It just took a massive toll on my mental health, and there were a lot of other things going on in my life, some of which I don't feel comfortable divulging. Because, you know, they involve other people, which I don't think they would be comfortable with me sort of sharing on stream. But yeah, there were other factors at play as well, and all of those just in conjunction with one another, I think it just got a lot. It just got really, really overwhelming, and I just wanted to run away. You know what I mean? And so I did for a bit, and in some ways it was nice, you know. I mean, it was really bad for a little while. I think like the first week certainly, it was really, really horrible actually. And I spent a lot of time just like, oh, for fuck's sake, I got held for ages there. I think Cordial's jumped me here. God damn it. Yeah,
up to speed now.
It was really horrible for a little bit, and it was really really difficult because I was kind of just sat not really doing anything at all, to be honest with you. Like I spent a lot of time just in bed or just on YouTube and stuff like that, and you know, doing stuff that usually is like routine and every day for me was like really, really difficult. And you know, there were a lot of people who were like messaging me being like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while, like, are you okay, or that kind of thing. You know, I had so many people who were like, you know, trying to get a hold of me, and you know, I didn't ignore them. I just kind of messaged them back very sort of bluntly, I guess is probably the best way I can describe it, where I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm doing fine, like, you know, it's all good, don't worry. When it was blatantly obvious that wasn't the case, you know, because I basically just went AWOL. And you know, people who I was talking to literally every day, all of a sudden they hadn't like heard anything from me, or you know, the best they would get out of me was like a few words or something like that. So it was really, really bad for a little while, and I definitely was not in the right mindset to stream. I think, to be honest, the last week that I did stream before I took a break from it, I wasn't really in the right headspace to stream either. You know, I was getting quite like angry with my viewers and stuff like that. Look, Lewis, understand this, okay? I'm just a guy on the internet. You know what I mean? You're not you are not accountable to me in any way, shape, or form. You know, if you feel like you want to do those things, there's nothing wrong with doing them. You know what I mean? But it doesn't make you a bad person for focusing on your own life. I don't think that makes people a bad person. You know, if people noticed that, you know, I was not really around and all that kind of thing, then that's cool. But you know, I'm grateful that, you know, people think about me that much. But I don't think that it was like necessary. You know what I mean? Like I don't think any less of people that didn't really notice, because, you know, people have their own lives, and people, you know, I'm talking about all this shit that's been going on in my own life. People have all the kinds of shit that are going on in their life as well. You know what I mean? People have all kinds of responsibilities and all that kind of stuff. So I don't resent anyone who has been focused on that kind of thing instead of focused on, you know, me, because I the only person whose responsibility I am is my own. You know, I'm an adult. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not the responsibility of my parents or anything like that.
Fittipaldi's just set the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, I think the accountability of it all lies solely with me, basically. But yeah, I needed to get away from it for a little while. It was, like I said, it was really bad for a little while, but then things got a little bit better, and I was like, okay, I feel like I'm ready to face these challenges that I've been running away from, you know, trying to improve my mindset towards streaming, trying to improve my mindset towards going out and getting a job, improving my mindset towards the relationships I have with other people, all that kind of thing. And, you know, that was a lot of what the second week was me just kind of saying, yeah, I think I can do this, you know. I feel ready to sort of ease myself back into everything that I've kind of neglected. And yeah, I mean, now I've been here, I've been streaming this week, you know, people have said I seem like I'm doing a lot better than I was doing like before I took a break from streaming, which I think is true. Yeah, I mean, I went really hard over July, right? I streamed every day in July, including doing a 24-hour stream on one occasion. So I don't know if it's necessarily entirely surprising that I got a little bit burnt out off of that, maybe. Yeah, and then some stuff was happening in my personal life which kind of threw everything out of whack a little bit. But that's, you know, that's neither here nor there. That's not anyone else on stream's like problem. You know, I make a commitment to show up here every weekday and do some streams, and that's what I should do. Yeah, I mean, I think Phil has obviously been busy with like other stuff. Like he had a holiday, and then he just got engaged, and then it's his birthday yesterday. So yeah, he's been busy with real life stuff. North, I'm not sure about. He actually was definitely streaming yesterday because he raided me. Did you forget to wish him a happy birthday? I'm sure if you just say happy belated birthday, like, it'll be fine. He's not gonna mind. Again, it's one of those things. People don't think that highly of it. But yeah, as for Ryan, I think he has been streaming a little bit, but not too much. I guess maybe he's like back in school and stuff now, if I had to guess. It's about that time of year. And then, yeah, I think Alex is maybe just a bit disenfranchised generally with F1, because the game had a few updates that kind of made it not great. I love how every update they ship to like fix something ends up breaking something else. I think that's a really cool and dependable feature of the F1 games. So yeah, I don't know, like I feel much readier to take this on now than I was feeling before everything. And I feel readier to face the challenges that I was up against. And yeah, I think just generally I'm in just a much better headspace than I was. And I think without that break, you need to... I didn't really say much during the ad break. It's fine, Lewis. Don't worry about it. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is effectively, I think I needed a little bit of time just to, I don't know, sort of think about how I was feeling and that kind of thing, and actually like consider it. Because, you know, when I'm like today, for example, like I literally, my whole day was like, I recorded a video this morning, you know, I was sorting stuff with that out, and then it was time to stream, basically. And then, you know, I'm going to be streaming until the evening. I'm going to be doing more, like, you know, stuff related to that, and I wouldn't really have that much time. You know, I didn't even finish working on my video, so I'm probably going to try and finish working on it this evening, although I do have a thing on tomorrow morning now, so potentially I might not be able to record a video tomorrow anyway, so I don't know, I might just leave this one and then work on it halfway tomorrow instead. We'll see. Yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, like, I feel like I generally, like, when I was streaming and doing YouTube stuff every day, I didn't really have time to sort of actually process how I was feeling about a lot of the stuff that was going on in my life. I was kind of just like, I guess, not running away from it, but kind of like doing stuff to distract myself from all of the shit that was going on.
The car in front is a second a lap faster, 1 second.
So yeah, it was good to have some time to process all of how I was feeling, and I think it's made me much like readier to sort everything out. We need to start the league again. Really brought everyone closer, and also ended some friendships. I don't think it ended that many friendships, did it? I mean, like, Mike is back in the Discord now, and like he's chill with everyone again. I don't think anyone like long time resents him, and likewise I don't think he has any long time resentment for anyone else. I think he just, you know, I don't know, when you're doing that kind of thing, even in a virtual league, it was pretty, I don't know, pretty yeah, it's just a very, like, emotions are running high, that kind of thing. And, you know, just in a moment of sort of frustration, I think he just decided it was best to just remove himself from the situation before he said something that he was, you know, gonna hurt someone or something like that. I think it was, you know, a lot of people said like it was immature or whatever. I actually think it was a much more mature decision to remove himself from the situation than to like stay there and cuss everyone out. You know what I mean? And if he felt like leaving the Discord was the only way he was going to be able to do that, then I think that honestly that's way better than either just kind of staying there and, you know, saying some shit that you're going to regret later on, you know, because nothing he said was so bad that I was like, oof, you know, now I don't want to be friends with that guy or whatever. You know, I think he's a cool guy and he still comes in here, and, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I think he's just someone who's just still learning how to play the game, and to be honest with you, I think some people were quite harsh on him. You know, maybe the league environment wasn't the best place for him, I don't know, but generally, I think all he ever wanted to do was just learn how to improve at the game. But it came with the side effect of, unfortunately, some people got quite frustrated at, you know, the sort of mistakes he was making during the learning process. So, you know, I think that I don't know. I don't think there was anything wrong with what happened. All in all, I didn't know about Josh and Simple. I didn't know that there was beef there, to be honest. But I don't know. I mean, I think they're both fine. Like, they're just kids, right? Nothing, no beef you have when you're like under the age of 16 is ever that important, in my opinion. I don't think there's anyone who I was beefing with back then who I still harbor any kind of resentment towards. Maybe there's people who beef with me back then that still feel a negative way about me. You know, that's their prerogative. I can't tell people how to feel, but I do think it would be a little bit silly. You know, anything I did when I was in school, people still mad about or whatever. You know, I'm a supremely different person to how I was back then. So, you know, I'm not saying I shouldn't be held accountable for the things that I did, but at the same time, you know, I think hopefully people can view it through the lens of, yeah, he was a kid. His judgment skills were poor. You know, that's why I unbanned GG Josh in my chat. You know, he was banned for a few months, I think, because I was not a fan of his conduct in one of the Discord servers we're in. And, you know, I kept a sort of close eye on the interactions he was having with other people and stuff like that. And, you know, he didn't seem to me to do anything like it again. So I was okay. I was like, okay, you know, he's 15 or whatever. He made a lapse of judgment and he learned from it. So I was like, that's, yeah, I think now it's been enough time that I don't really feel like it's warranted him being banned from the chat anymore. So yeah. Hekwi is back in the server? Or is Hekwi back in the server? I don't think so. I don't know. I've not really heard anything from him. Yeah, a good racer, but I think he didn't like that I said something after his crash with Phil. Because, so Hekwi scored points in the first round, and then he didn't score points in literally any other round after that. For like, I don't know, it was like 4 or 5 races before he ended up quitting completely. And he was involved in incidents week in, week out. And I think after his incident with Phil, if I remember, or maybe it was the Belgium incident that he had.
Losing a small amount of time to the car behind.
I kind of said something that was, it was a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it was basically like, isn't it interesting that the people complaining about dirty drivers are the ones who get caught up in incidents literally every single week? And I stand by what I said, quite frankly, because, look, I got taken out by someone who literally speared me out of the race. There was no sort of margin for that might have been my fault, you know what I mean? He literally just drove into me and just drove me straight into a wall. So, yeah, that was fair enough. But then I only got caught up in like 2 or 3 more incidents for the rest of the season. You know, I had the DNF in Zandvoort, which again I was just a bit of a passenger in, to be honest. I had the contact with Doddy in Belgium, which was my fault, but it was just me being a bit frustrated about everything that had gone on. And I owned up to that one and I said, look, that's on me. I don't want to penalise him or anything like that because it was me being frustrated that is the reason that happened. And then there was the one where I was ill, where I accidentally blocked Alex in quali, and that was it. You know. So I don't really see how people can be like, oh yeah, it's dirty drivers or whatever when you know, Hekwi was involved in 5 incidents in 6 races or whatever. You know, it's like, maybe it's time for you to change your approach to driving. Or it was like in Australia when he got like a shitload of penalties or whatever. for track limits. And he was like, oh yeah, I want to get the track limits penalties removed or something like that. And I was like, well, why? And he was like, oh, because it's like different racing lines. And I was like, well, my racing line and everyone else's racing line doesn't involve not driving on the track. You know, how can you argue that? Get a different racing line that involves actually staying on the circuit, and then you won't get all the penalties. Yeah, I mean, that was the one with Ando, right? That was when him and Ando were wheel to wheel at the start. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, he was complaining about all the penalties and stuff, and I was like, well, you're the only one that's getting that many. Well, not the only one, but one of the only ones that's getting that many penalties. So I don't think you can really be like, oh, yeah, it's the game's fault that I'm getting all these penalties. Yeah, I mean, you did pretty well, considering you only raced in, what, 8 out of the 12 weekends or something like that? You did really well to get P2. I think Dustin only raced in like 7 or 8 as well, and he got P3 overall, so... Oh no, you got P3, he got P2, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry, I realised you were saying you got P2 in Britain specifically.
Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag
But still, to get top 3, when me and Ryan raced every single weekend and neither of us got top 3, and then you, Dougie, and Dustin all missed a bunch of races and were the top 3, I was like, imagine if you guys had showed up to every single race. We would have been fucked. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think if Dustin had been in the league from the start, he could have honestly mounted a challenge. Yo, Randoi? I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well today, and hope you're having an absolutely thrilling Thursday. Good to have you here. Take a sip of my drink, my throat's hurting a bit. I agree, but I also wonder whether it's just that Dougie doesn't push at 100%. Because he knows he doesn't need to.
Tyre condition still looking good.
But, you know, on his day, Dustin did get poles over Dougie. He obviously got the win in the final round, which you could argue was gifted to him, but I don't think, like, it mattered. At the end of the day, I think he was getting P2 in the championship regardless of what happened. Yeah, something like that. I don't remember. He had a rough one. I know that much. But, you know, it happens. Dougie had his fair share of incidents. No, Spain was his first race. When he actually, I think he stood in for Dougie.
Starting to pull away from us now.
As a proper driver, I think Belgium was his first one.
0.6 seconds.
But yeah, Season 2 will be cool. I think we're going to start doing the sign-ups for it quite soon. We're going to have like a submission period, I think. Okay, Kitty, no problem. Thank you for stopping by. Good to have you here, and hopefully have a good night's rest. I saw that you messaged me on Discord, by the way. I'll try and get back to you when the race is done, but that's still not going to be for another, like, I don't know, 25 minutes or so yet. When are we boxing? 4 laps from now. So yeah, but generally speaking, Dustin, like, on his day was, like, super quick. No, it's fine. It's not an urgent thing. I just didn't want her to think I was ignoring her. Your pole in Australia was amazing. Yeah, that was a crazy quali. I got P2 if I remember correctly, because I think Dougie didn't get a good lap together. That was like the highlight. I think Australia, honestly, for me, was the highlight of that season. I think she's telling you to watch that. But yeah, that race was definitely the highlight of my season, I think. It's a shame that it ended the way it did for you, but for me it was like just incredible. No, she's telling you to watch the clip that's linked in the command.
Okay, we're approaching the pit window and we're going to put you onto Super Softs.
Antoine is the French one. Man, that's sad. I'm probably gonna have to have a different teammate this year, or this season, for the next season of the league, because I guess Antoine is busy with football things. Yeah, I think I'm going to put that one up on TikTok. Yeah, I realize now, obviously it was Canada, because of the yellow and black signs. Like, that's pretty common in Canada. But I only found that out yesterday, so here we are. So ass at GeoGuessr, it's not funny. I'm actually really good at it. Like, I'm getting there. I'm getting really good at it now, I think. Like, overall, in the last competitive season, which was, like, the previous 8 weeks before this week, I finished top 500 out of 200,000 players. Make a living off GeoGuessr tourneys. The World Cup is next week. Starts next Friday, I think. Obviously, I'm not quite at that level yet, but one day, it's possible to become that level, you know? All it requires is just learning the stuff. Learning the metas, all that kind of thing. It's pretty hardcore once you get to a certain level, though. It's like, oh yeah, the blur is on this part of the camera, you know, in the northwest, there's like a speck of dirt on the camera or something, which means you're on this road. Interested in FIFA? I've got FC on the PC, and it runs okay. I'm in a Pro Clubs team with some friends of mine, like some IRL friends. There's only a few of us, but yeah, it's pretty fun. But they're playing Baldur's Gate now, so we haven't really played it very much lately. I've just been playing career mode because I don't really give a shit about Ultimate Team. I like made one, and I was like showing my friends or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do like Ultimate Team, and they were like, ooh, 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 ooh. And then like I just got like a bunch of really shit players, and they were like, okay, so now you need to buy these packs or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, I just been playing career mode, but that's been really fun. I'm doing a Southampton career. We're top of the league.
Ralph is in the pits. Ralph is in the pits now.
I wish it was like that in real life. Yeah, I don't know. The way the game works is kind of, like, bad in that regard, I think. Like, there's a lot of it where it's just, like, the feature I really hate about FIFA is that, yeah, it does just feel rigged a lot of the time. Like, the ball going in the back of the net feels like RNG a lot of the time. Because I'm pretty sure it is. Like you can do the exact same sequence of like inputs 100 times, and like, you know, 20% of the time it will work, and then the other 80% of the time it just inexplicably won't.
Job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time.
And I get that there has to be an element of randomness and stuff like that, because it's reflective of what like
strategy complete.
Real life is like, I guess, you know what I mean? But I still think it's kind of silly. Okay, how are the tires doing? 17%. These will go to the end. And then the other thing is like every like outcome of a situation feels completely predetermined. You know what I mean? Like whether you win a header or not feels like it's decided the moment that the ball leaves the foot of the player who's like sending it towards like the box or whatever. And when the ball like lands in a certain area, the player who is going to pick up the ball feels like it's predetermined again from the moment the ball is kicked. You know, there's no oh, my player has good like pace, so therefore he can like run over and try and like intercept it or whatever. You know, I've had ones before where I've tried to get to like run after a ball or something, and you know I'm holding the right trigger and I'm pushing in the right direction and that kind of thing, and the player just straight up isn't fucking moving. You know, they're literally like magnetized to the spot, and that really annoys me. Or also the way like the ball does like this weird pathfinding bullshit where like if you pass it from anywhere, it's always going to land like at like a player, no matter which direction you send it in. And it always goes with like a really weird amount of speed as well. You know, like if you do a goal kick and it goes like halfway out your like half or whatever, and then like the person who takes it on their head, like, you know, you power it up or whatever, and they can head it all the way back to the keeper. It's like, that's just fucking stupid. I don't know. The physics in the game is just really bad in my opinion, and I feel like Ultimate Team only like exacerbates those problems that exist with it. I think that's my biggest issue with it, is that it feels like Ultimate Team is like an amalgamation of all the things that are wrong with the game. Couple that with the fact that it's designed to be microtransaction bait, which is something I can't stand in gaming nowadays. So yeah, I don't know. It bothers me a lot. Yeah, I think if you're doing that kind of thing, Lewis, it's time to take a break. You know, when I was 18, I think, I broke one of my keyboards playing CS:GO, and that's when I decided I was going to take a break from playing CS:GO for a bit. And I did. I took like 2 months off playing it, and I went back and I was a lot better. And my mindset towards that game now, you know, I've been playing it like almost every day. I don't feel like I've raged much at all. Like I get annoyed still, don't get me wrong. Like yesterday I was losing so many easy rounds. You know, it would be like, you know, my teammates would do so much and I would be left in like a 1 versus 1 situation and I would just completely throw the round away. So that was frustrating me a lot, because I think I ended up losing as the game. You know, last round it was 12-11 to us, and me and my friend, the other Lewis, were in a 2 versus 4 situation. They run perfectly into our crossfire, and it might even have been a 2 versus 5. I think it was 2 versus 5. They all run perfectly into our crosshairs. We kill 4 of them, and then Lewis dies to the last guy, and I'm left in a 1 versus 1 with this guy. I shoot him for like half, but I can't finish the kill. And then, you know, I end up in a 1 versus 1, and I just played it so fucking poorly. you know, I was really annoyed at myself because that would have literally won us the game right then and there. But I was tired. That's what I'm going to blame it on. I got 4 hours of sleep the night before because there was, you know, some BS that was happening on, what day would that have been? Tuesday, I guess. So yeah, I ended up getting like 4 hours of sleep. Didn't get to bed till like 4 o'clock in the morning. And so yeah, I was really tired yesterday.
The car ahead.
And to be fair, I feel like, yeah, I don't know.
To the end of this race.
I don't know, if you've got like good like mechanical aim with like a keyboard and mouse, like you can be good at CSGO quite quickly. Like my friend Rachel, she played a lot of Valorant and hadn't really played much CSGO. Well, it's CS2 now, but it was CSGO before. And she played CS with us once, and she was like, I say once, like a few times. And she was like really good, like straight out of the bat, because she'd played quite a lot of Valorant, like, and her aim was quite good. And I think it's the same if you play any kind of game that requires you to have like mechanical aim, you know what I mean? You play Fortnite on PC, you play Apex Legends on PC, any of these other kinds of games. I'm trying to think of other ones that have that kind of sort of feeling to them. Yeah, Valorant is another one, obviously. Apex is so dead now. Yeah, I don't know. I got a friend who somehow is on a professional Apex Legends team. But I'm like, why? Like, is that like lucrative? I don't really know. I guess it works for him. Yeah. I think like it's the kind of game where you can, as long as you have good fundamentals, you can get good at it really quickly. Whereas like other games, you've got to kind of, you know, like Valorant, you have to learn all of like the abilities and stuff like that. It's the same with Overwatch as well. Like they're very much like gimmicky, I guess. Whereas CSGO has a shockingly small amount of gimmicks. Like, I think this new thing they've added to CS2, where you can throw a grenade into a smoke and it like blasts away the smoke, is cool, but it is a bit gimmicky. Yeah, I think I'm not a huge fan of Overwatch. I haven't played it in a long time, but I never really could get behind it. My friends used to play it a lot, and I just used to really not want to play it whenever they did, you know? Like, they would invite me, and sometimes I would join because I was like, you know... And they'd have like five of them doing it, and they'd be like, oh yeah, we need a 6th person. And I was like, yeah, 5 of my friends are playing this game. Like, I would just play it for the sake of it. Who plays it anymore? Fortnite? I follow fuckloads of Fortnite streamers, dude. Just because I don't really know how it happened, you know? I've never played that game. I didn't really know anyone who played it. But then I just kind of became friends with streamers who knew Fortnite streamers or whatever. And they were like, hey, you should follow this Fortnite streamer. So I was like, yeah. Alright, I guess. Epic have clearly run out of money, as evidenced by the fact that they just laid off like 20% of their workforce. And sold up Bandcamp as well. Which was one of the most perplexing things to me. They bought Bandcamp like a year and a half ago or whatever. And everyone was like, oh yeah, they're going to ruin Bandcamp. They literally did nothing with it. And then sold it. Probably a loss, I would imagine, as well. Shane Draws, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you're having a thrilling Thursday. Good to have you here. Takes us 83 followers away from 1,600. How do you own Fortnite and run out of money? Well, I guess Fortnite used to be more profitable, right? When everyone was playing it. Because not everyone is playing it anymore. There's still a dedicated player base of lots and lots of people. Has to be the highest earning game ever, surely? I don't know. I think Minecraft would like a word with you. But it could be Fortnite. I don't know. Is the amount of money that people spent on Fortnite microtransactions higher than the upfront cost of Minecraft? Because you have to pay a certain amount of money to be able to play Minecraft, right? But Fortnite, you don't have to spend any money. So, I don't know. I don't know is the answer. But I know that Minecraft is definitely the game that has been purchased the most in the world. I love Minecraft, dude. I feel like I can't think of another game that I think is going to be as timeless as Minecraft. I think in 20 years' time, people will still be playing Minecraft, and still like a really high number of people as well. And I don't think that's going to be the same for...
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
I can't imagine it's going to be the same for any other kind of game. GTA 6 will be the greatest game of all time. I'm going to wait, I think, until the game actually comes before I make any statement on GTA 6 or whatsoever. Because, look, GTA 5 was brilliant for the time that it was made in. I don't think anyone can argue that it was an excellent game for 2013. But the game is 10 years old at this point. And yeah, they have been working on it for a very long time, GTA 6. And it's on the way, supposedly. But can they do what they did with GTA 5 again? That's the question I'm curious about. Can they once again revolutionize this sort of genre of game, this open world style game that GTA exists within? I'd be interested to see. I don't think the answer is no, but I'm not prepared to immediately say that the answer is going to be yes. Not liked as much purely because of the nostalgia factor. I mean, people are going to play it regardless, right? Because that's kind of what happens with games now, is even if people don't really like them that much, they still play them. How many accents does the UK have? Too many? Yeah, I don't know. Let me think, generally speaking. There's quite a lot for how small of a country it is, Lewis. There's Cornish, which is slightly different from sort of generic Somerset, Bristol kind of West Country. So that's already 2, and we haven't even left the Southwest yet. You've got the South. You've got about 2 or 3 different London accents. You've got the Southeast accent, like the sort of Kent accent. The received pronunciation accent of sort of the home counties in the South, which is different to my sort of Southern accent, which is a bit more sort of generic. You know, I'm still in the South. You've got the sort of Midlands Brummie accent. You've got, you've got Geordie, Scouse, Mancunian. We're still only in the UK. I think, you know, the East Midlands has a slightly sort of different accent to the West Midlands. If you go even further north than Newcastle, you'll find even broader accents than the traditional Geordie accent. There's like 3 different Scottish accents at minimum. You know, there's the Edinburgh accent, which is basically a British accent, like an English accent. There's the Glaswegian accent. There's the Highlands accent. I've even seen, like, there's a YouTuber who makes F1 videos from Shetland who has a different accent to any other Scotland like accent that I've heard. There's, you know...
Okay, this is your final lap. Final lap of the
there's
race.
probably like two
Okay, so
distinct Welsh accents I can think of.
37.2 seconds.
There's Northern Irish. So there you go. How many did I just name? Like 20? And that's just like general ones, I would say. But there's minor variations in those. Is everyone here from the UK? Well, I am. Are there local dialects in the UK? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, there's local dialects in the UK. You mean, by dialects, I assume you mean, like, words that are specific to a particular region? 100% there are. So I'm from Cornwall originally. My accent is a bit more, sort of generic south. I'd say my accent fits in quite well in a place like Southampton. Southampton, Portsmouth, that kind of area, because it's just a bit more sort of, yeah, general South English. But I'm from Cornwall, which has its own accent, which is very sort of, yeah. All right, my lover.
Yes,
Going down farm.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a really strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
That kind of thing. And they have lots of words in that dialect, you know, like
It wasn't always
doing it
plain
directly,
sailing today,
which
but a very
if you've ever heard someone
win
say,
nonetheless.
I don't know. Basically, it's kind of like
Davide
when you
Valsecchi,
say to
give me
someone,
your
"Oh,
thoughts.
when are
How
you
did
going to
they
do this?"
accomplish
And they
this
say,
result?
"When I do
think
it."
they kept a cool head. That's why they won today.
That kind of
Steady,
vibe. That's
everything
what doing
that
it directly
happened to
means.
them,
It's
they
basically just
handled
like, yeah,
calmly
it'll be
and
done when it's
professionally.
done.
That's what let them focus on getting the best out
That's
of
a
everything else.
Cornish
the car, the strategy,
sort of
they
dialect
managed
exclusive
to
thing.
keep
I
out
don't
of
think they have that
trouble
anywhere
the
else.
whole way
You
round.
know, I have our own language
And
in
as the
Cornwall. We
adrenaline
do. We
dies
do.
down after another
I don't know
eventful
anyone
race,
that knows
here
it.
come our top three out
I know
onto the podium.
I know like two phrases. But yeah, how's it going, Mike? How's it going, Geds? How's it going, dear Deban and Ken? I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a absolutely thrilling Thursday, and welcome to the stream. FIA should accept drivers from all backgrounds. Primarily F1 is only for rich sons of bitches. Yeah, it's
After this round
unfortunate,
of the World
but
Championship, here's
it's
how
because
things
getting
look
into
in
the
driver's
sport,
table.
I guess,
The
is
gap
so
at the top of the
expensive
championship has been cut
that
down after a difficult race for our championship
it's
leader.
difficult.
And now,
What's that
Davide
language called in
Valsecchi,
Cornwall?
let me
It's
ask
called
you,
Cornish.
who is your driver of the
I'll probably go for a Mauricio Deal.
And yeah,
The team
it's
did a good job with the strategy to put him in the pack.
it's kind
and
of-
he was good enough to take
I
the
guess it's kind of
opportunity.
similar-ish
On
to
the teams
Welsh.
then. We saw
It's
a
not the
dip in
same.
form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a
But,
significant blow. Meanwhile, good work from Campos
That's probably
this
the
weekend.
most
Pushed
sort of
themselves
similar
further
language that
up the
exists to
order.
it.
That's it for today's
Very
race.
strongly
From
related to
Davide
Welsh.
and I,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
goodbye, and we'll see you when
I
Formula
know
2 returns.
I know two phrases. I know two phrases in Cornish, and that is Aras Diner Kerno, which is what it says on the Tamar Bridge whenever you cross over into Cornwall, which means welcome to Cornwall. And I know Bich Gwella Gilly, which was my school motto, which means be the best you can be. And that's it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Who's talking shit about the Cornish pasty? Lewis. We can't be doing that. That's not on. It's not on. UK yappers yapping. I wanted to look at the standings. I am third, 27 points behind Porsche. All right, we can still bring this back. Where's Lewis from? Yeah, West Midlands. Sport is only for the selected elites of the world. Yeah, I mean, like, a couple drivers in Formula One come from pretty humble beginnings. Hamilton, for example, like, he was not rich growing up. Vettel as well, if I remember correctly. They didn't come from Boku bucks. And Ocon as well. He came from fairly humble beginnings. You know, he said in an interview recently his family wasn't like poor growing up, but like they weren't millionaires like most of the drivers in Formula One come from. I mean, most people nowadays are the sons of like celebrities or whatever. Vettel's dad did rallycross, if I remember correctly, or is it autocross? I'm not sure, but that doesn't mean he was necessarily loaded. You know what I mean? It just means like his dad had racing pedigree. But I mean, like, you know, Kevin Magnussen's dad was a Formula One driver. Max Verstappen's dad was a Formula One driver. Carlos Sainz's dad was a famous rally driver called Carlos Sainz. Who else is there that comes from that kind of thing? Stroll's dad literally owns the Formula One team he drives for. Rosberg's dad, Formula One driver. Formula One world champion, no less. Mick Schumacher. How did he get into Formula One? I'm trying to remember what other connections, like... But again, just a lot of them come from a lot of money. So, yeah. I do think it's a shame. And hopefully, maybe it will change in the future as they... Charles' uncle was? Charles' godfather, Jules Bianchi, was the one that died in a crash. But I think his dad also died, if I remember correctly, and was also some kind of racing driver. Rishi Sunak's son will race in F1. I don't know if Rishi Sunak even has kids or what, but I don't really care. That guy's a bit of a character and not in a good way. I'm kind of losing my patience. Any rookie racer in your neighborhood who is preparing to be a future F1 star? Not that I know of here, but when I was growing up down in Cornwall, there was a guy around my age, Alex Quinn. You may have heard of him. He raced in F4, if I remember correctly, alongside some people who are now sort of in F2, that kind of thing. And yeah, he went down to the go-kart track where one of my mates used to work. Geds may know who I'm talking about. And yeah, Alex Quinn rocked up there one day and apparently just bashed out the lap record there like it was nothing. And he was from down that neck of the woods. I had mates who went to school with him and stuff. And he made it to like Formula Regional, that kind of thing. But I don't think he ever made it into F3. Might have time yet, but he certainly has not made it yet. Why is he trying to put me on full wets, man? Jesus. Yeah, tire compound unavailable. I'm trying to use this. Okay, there we go. Jesus. Yeah, he made some statements in the like his big sort of media address that he did yesterday that was basically just declaring war on transgender people for no real reason, just to win votes. Is pretty blatant, and that's what it was for, because it's literally never been a party issue until like the most recent election cycles. So it's not been an issue for anyone. I've literally never ever seen a political party in this country running on any kind of platform regarding transgender people whatsoever. They have not even brought them up. There's been no mention of them in anything that they've talked about until the past few years. You know, literally the past like 2 years, it's suddenly become trendy to talk about this. So I don't get like why suddenly now he's turned around and he's said all this fucking bullshit, because it's just like, what does he actually achieve apart from just winning votes from fucking hardline bigots? Basically, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I know that's why he's done it, but yeah, it bothers me a lot. FIA should develop more drivers academies so that lower middle class kids can get into motorsports around the world. I think they are doing that, but obviously you gotta start at the bottom. And slowly develop it over a number of years. You know, it's the same with getting women into Formula One as well. You know, the W Series initiative and F1 Academy and all that kind of thing. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. But what it does do is it sheds light on the fact that it's possible for people who are, you know, from those kinds of backgrounds to end up in those situations. you know, to end up in, maybe not in Formula One necessarily, but certainly in, you know, the sort of pinnacle of motorsport achievable for that particular person. And the more people that end up in those positions, it's the same with anything in the world, you know. It's, in my opinion, the reason why I think that, you know, having diversity and representation in all walks of life is actually really, really important. Because, you know, people will say, oh, well, you should just get the person who's best for the job or whatever. And it's like, well, the reason why you do that is because it's going to increase the likelihood that someone who comes from a traditionally underrepresented background is going to be of that sort of pedigree. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna increase the number of role models that person has. I don't know. For example, I think of like Barack Obama, for example. You know, probably a lot of African American kids out there historically probably said to themselves, "Oh, well, there's no point trying to become a politician."
In this program, we want you to focus on your fuel saving technique.
Because, you know, people like me don't become politicians. But then one of them became the fucking president of the United States. Now it probably seems a little bit more realistic that they would. And yeah, like I said, it's the same with women in Formula One, you know? All it takes is one woman to race in Formula One, and all of a sudden there are going to be hundreds of thousands of girls around the world, you know, little kids sitting at home with their dad or whatever watching Formula One, and this woman's gonna rock up on their screen, and she doesn't even have to be good. That's the honest to God truth. But they will see her and they will go, that's possible. If you see 20 men on a screen, and yeah, your point as well about it being for the elites of the world is so true as well. If you see 20 billionaires on a screen, you're gonna go, well, I guess this is a billionaire exclusive thing. But if you see even one person who came from the same sort of background as you did, like Lewis Hamilton, for example, you're going to look at that and you're going to go, okay, maybe there's a chance. It's still a slim chance, but if I can be the absolute best, maybe I can do it. And that's why I think that's just so important, you know? And I'll always advocate for that kind of thing. Lewis Hamilton is the best driver of all time. Yeah. If you speak statistically, I don't think that's arguable from a statistical perspective, because, you know, he is the winningest driver in Formula One history. Personally, for me, he's right up there, I think. But, you know, I don't think you can judge things solely based on statistics. To be honest, I don't really look at things like there is an out-and-out GOAT. I've never looked at it that way. Look, if Crofty can say it, so can I.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
So yeah, I think, like, Crofty has said that on multiple occasions. Multiple. Yeah, I agree with you, Debban. It's still a statistical abnormality. I am not arguing with the point that you're making at all. You know, I remember when I was like a teenager or something.
Okay, we need
I think I said something about it to my dad once. About like whether it would have been like possible for me to do it or something like that. And my dad was like, yeah, maybe if our household income was about £500,000 a year more than it is, and like, you know, I'd started like when I was about 6. You know, I think I was like 14 when I said this to him or something like that. And he was like, yeah, maybe if you started like 8 years ago and we were making about 500 grand a year more, perhaps it would have been possible. But, you know, he was under no illusions of, and my dad is a massive Formula One fan. He is under no illusions of who gets into it. But, you know, I love Formula One for multiple reasons. I love it because I love racing. I love the technology and engineering side of it. That side of it has fascinated me in so many ways. And I also kind of love the drama a little bit. I know that that's like a taboo thing because, you know, people will say like, oh, you know, DTS fans or whatever, but I think there's nothing wrong with enjoying the sort of drama of it a little bit. I think, you know, for a while it was a bit dry, and recently there's been like a bit of life injected into it with like a few drivers having actually like personalities. It's my favorite show. I really like it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think the insight that you get from it is good, and I know that some of it is dramatized and not all of it is real. And fortunately, because I actually do watch the Formula 1 season as well, I can identify what of it is real and what of it is dramatized. But you know, the sort of behind the scenes access that you get from Drive to Survive, I think is really cool. You know, when you get to get the insight into sort of discussions that drivers are having with their teams and all that kind of thing, I find that stuff really interesting. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's not my favorite show by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, when a new season of it comes out, I will watch it because I do find it interesting, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just be rich and get behind the scenes in person? Yeah, if everyone donated £1 million to me right now, I would be able to do that. Come on, guys. Open your wallets. I think this is an important cause that we can all get behind. The attempt to take F1 into mainstream media, and it did work? Yes, exactly. Exactly. I know loads of people who are into it now, and I didn't know anyone who was into it in like 2017 when around the time I got into it. Hold on, let me just take a look at this real quick because I think I'm the only mod here. I guess, but I'm also gonna have to ban that term afterwards, I think. But yeah, I think like to a degree, like they were successful, right? Like, because you know, he was the most dominant driver in Formula 1 for a while, and a lot of people say it's because of the car he was in or whatever, but the reason he got into that car in the first place was because he had a really impressive track record in the McLaren, even in the years that it wasn't really a car that was capable of contending for race wins. He was still winning in it at least once a year, if not more. You know, he did bits. But you know what I don't quite get? A lot of people refer to Lewis Hamilton as the only black driver to ever race in Formula 1. Have we all collectively forgot about Pascal Wehrlein? Because I even looked this up because I was curious, and he identifies himself as black, I'm pretty sure. So I don't really get how people are like, oh yeah, Lewis is the only black driver to have ever raced in Formula 1. It's just like, it's not actually true. He was the first, but he's not the only one. And it's not even like Pascal Wehrlein was that long ago, or that he's not well known about now. You know, he races in Formula E. Like, he's not like some guy who just went off the radar completely. So I've never understood where this line of like, oh yeah, he's still the only one to have ever raced in... He is the best one. I'm not saying that. But to be fair, his competition is only Pascal Wehrlein, who drove 1 year in a Sauber. And then, despite the fact that he had a much better season than Marcus Ericsson was bringing in a fuckload of money to the team. So Pascal Wehrlein was the one who got the boot for Charles Leclerc. And yes, I'm not saying Charles Leclerc didn't deserve to race in Formula 1, because he absolutely did. But I think Leclerc and Wehrlein would have been a hell of a better lineup than Leclerc and Ericsson. you know, Leclerc was scoring points in a Sauber on a regular basis, whereas I think Ericsson did it once that season, if I remember correctly. But there's always one. Well, there's always a few, usually. Lance Stroll is such a complicated situation for me. Like, the guy has raw pace. He does. And he's proven that on a very limited amount of occasions. But he is so inconsistent. And I just don't get why. It's either because... It's two reasons, right? It's either because he feels like he has to prove himself because everyone says the only reason he's in Formula 1 is because of money, which is probably true. Or it's because he knows that he can't lose his Formula 1 seat no matter how badly he does.
3 minutes to go.
So he doesn't have to worry about it. But he's a good driver. On his day. He just... I don't know. I think there's just got to be like a mentality issue with him or something like that. He doesn't have to be consistent. Yeah, exactly. You know, with a lot of people, they are... You know, every time they have a bad race, I feel like that doubt creeps into their mind of, is this what's going to cost me my seat in Formula 1? Whereas when Lance Stroll has a bad race, it's kind of like, oh, well, there's always next weekend. I guess. But I guess I just don't know if it's, like, fair. If F1 is meant to be a meritocracy, where you earn your way in F1 by getting there. I don't know if it's fair on Felipe Drugovich, Liam Lawson, Frederick Vesti, Theo Pourchaire, Robert Schwartzman, Callum Eilert, all these young drivers who've come up over the last few years, who never made their way into Formula 1. Definitely fair, no one's stopping anyone from starting the 11th or 12th team. Oh, speaking of which, have you guys seen that we probably are getting an 11th team?
Okay, 1 minute remaining, just 1 minute.
It's quite exciting, in my opinion. Andretti apparently have been approved by the FIA, so now they just need approval by Formula 1 management themselves. And then... And yeah, they're gonna be on the grid. Liam's gonna be a problem, I think. Liam Lawson. I mean, apparently there is a clause in his contract which says that he is guaranteed a seat on the grid for 2025. Charles' little brother will be joining F1 very soon. You think? You think Arthur Leclerc
and a job well done. We got some
will make it to Formula 1?
Run, so come on back to the garage and I can take you through.
No disrespect to the guy, but I don't think he's good enough. He's good. He's all right. He's not bad. But I don't think he's Formula 1 material. He certainly has never looked as good as his brother. He deserves to be in Formula 2. You know, he was a championship contender in Formula 3 the season prior. But do I think that he would be able to handle the jump from F2 to F1? I don't know. I don't know. He definitely needs at least another season in F2. And if he doesn't do well, then... I don't know.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top three. Daruvala, Pourchaire, Ayumu Iwasa.
I think...
That's it for practice then. We'll see you again soon.
What do you mean exactly, Ken? Like, has she driven an F1 car? Because I don't think so. But I think, like, honestly, it might be a bit late for Chadwick at this point. Oh, 20th. That's not great. Yeah, I think it might be a bit late for her at this point because she, I don't know. She's not that young anymore. She's like 25, 26, something like that. Let me have a look. 25, yeah. So, I think it might be the time has passed. Charles is a very humble person. Yeah, sometimes I feel like he might be a bit too, like, willing to accept his own mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, he's a bit too self-critical. Like calling himself stupid in Baku and in Bahrain and, you know, all the times he does mistakes, he's always like, I'm stupid. It's like, I don't know if you're doing yourself or anyone else any favors saying that kind of thing. It's what the Italian passion does to you. Yeah, I feel like being in Ferrari has got to be just such a stressful experience because, you know, if you do like anything, the media is just going to be on you. I've never seen the media who seem to be as invested in the love lives of a Formula One driver as they are in the love lives of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. I feel like I see so much on Twitter about it, and I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't care about any of this. I feel like the last time I saw something like this was with Lewis Hamilton back in the Scherzinger era. But that's like the only time I remember anything like that. Should we do a prediction? Will I qualify in the top 10? There you go. Predict with your channel points if you can. If you can't, then you can't. But if you can, then go for it. You got 2 minutes to predict that. We do have our setup enabled. All right, well, let's get out on track then, shall we? Do a flying lap. But yeah, I think it's to answer your question about Americans as well, Mike. The answer I think to that question is no. There's Jack Crawford in Formula 2, but again, I'm not convinced he's going to be good enough to make the jump. He's been on the podium a couple times in Formula 2. He's not bad, but whether he's good enough, I'm not sure. Oh, we got 10k on yes. Holy shit. Anyone going to balance that out? Anyone feeling like I'm not getting top 10? You could win big. All you got to do is put a few points on no. And you could win big bucks. Big channel points. Put 10 points on it, you get a return of 1,000. 1 to 1,000 return. Andretti is an American team, right? Yes, and there's a lot of speculation that they're going to bring over drivers from IndyCar. The big one who I keep hearing about is Colton Herta. A lot of people think that that Colton Herta is going to be an Andretti driver. But yeah, could be a potential place for Sargent to go as well if Williams wanna sack him off because he's not good enough. Because no offense to the guy, but I honestly feel like Latifi would have been better this season than he's been. The car has been points capable. Latifi would have scored points by now. Latifi scored points last season in a car that wasn't really points capable. I mean, he only did it once, but he did do it. He did do it. And if you look at how many fucking points Albon has scored this season, Latifi would have scored points, I think, this season if he was in the car. That's my controversial take of 2023. Latifi would have scored points by now. Somewhere. I don't know where. How about that NASCAR driver that was trying to get to F1? NASCAR driver that was trying to get to F1. I'm not sure who you're talking about. He may be serviceable at some point, but he's in over his head this year. Yeah, if he gets another year on the grid, he needs to get his act together fucking quickly. Otherwise, he's gone, surely. Like, they say they have their targets for him. I'm convinced that's got to just be... That's got to just be, like, scoring points, basically. That's got to be the target for him, is just getting a points finish. Because clearly there's some reason they haven't re-signed him yet. And clearly it's because they still have some kind of doubt in their mind about whether they want him. But who do they get now instead? I've been seeing more and more speculation it's going to be Dragovic, now that Lawson has signed that sort of Red Bull reserve thing. I've seen a lot of people suddenly saying it's going to be Dragovic. Which would be cool. You know? I like Dragovic. I think he's a talented fucking driver. I actually did 2 laps there, but we ended up improving by 5/10 on that second lap. But we are almost out of fuel, so I should probably do that. I'm still kind of sad that Dragovic never got a shot in the Aston Martin at the start of the season. Because I think he would have firmly put himself in the shop window if he had. I think he would have been closer to Alonso than Stroll has been. Dragovic is a character from COD Cold War. Yeah. I'm talking about Felipe Dragovic, the Brazilian Aston Martin reserve driver. Alright, we'll fast forward to the end of the session and we'll do another lap. See where I can end up. I think Mitch gets another shot. Mitch? Only Mitch I can think of as Mitch Evans. He's in FE, I think. But he's Australian, I think, no? Oh, Mick. No. No, because unfortunately he had the most damning article I have ever seen written about him, which got talked about in the Formula 1 community a lot. Which is that basically Toto Wolff was trying to get Mick Schumacher in the shop window, maybe onto the Formula 1 grid. And so he called up his old mate, James Vowles, now team principal at Williams, and said, hey, how do you feel about replacing Logan Sargent with Mick Schumacher for next season? And James Vowles was kind of like, you know, maybe. You know, what's he like? And Toto Wolff was like, I'll send your I'll send some of his data over to you, and you can have a look for yourself. And so he sent over the data, and James Vowles was just like, "Fuck off." No, there's no way. That's what he was like. That's the report, apparently, at least. I don't know if this is confirmed to be true. And yeah, I can't imagine that that has done very good things for Mick Schumacher's chances of making it back into Formula One. To find out that one of the slowest teams on the grid would rather pursue a driver who is incredibly crash prone and not very fast on his day than a driver who is also incredibly crash prone and not very fast on his day. So, do I think Mick Schumacher makes it back into Formula One? No, I don't, quite frankly. And if he does, it will be, once again, a PR thing because it's Mick Schumacher specifically. Is he a good driver? Has he shown a lot of promise in feeder series? Yes, absolutely he has. But not everyone who shows a lot of promise in feeder series makes it onto the Formula One grid. You know what I mean? I do find it interesting though that this season was the only Formula One season where, and it will probably be the only Formula One season ever, where every driver that has won the Formula 2 championship has either been a driver or a reserve driver in Formula 1.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are Daruva, Drugovich and Roberts. It's time to leave for now, but we'll be back tomorrow when the feature race gets itself underway.
I guess the season that Leclerc was driving in Formula 1, that was true as well, right? Because he was obviously the first to make it in. And maybe when Leclerc and Russell were on. But when there's 6 of them, it's a bit more impressive. Because so it was what? Leclerc, Russell, De Vries, Schumacher, who won it in 21? Piastri and Drugovich. And they were all on the grid, either as drivers or reserve drivers at the same time. Alright, P3 in qualifying. Not bad. So I did get top 10. Which means I'll be starting P8 in the race. So congratulations to those of you who predicted I was going to do it. You get your points back. But nobody predicted no, so you don't get any extra, I'm afraid. Right, sprint race time. Let's do another prediction, shall we? Will I finish? I'm starting 8th.
We're here at
So will I finish in the top 5?
To be a thrilling event ahead of us. The drivers are making their final preparations, and in a very short time, we'll be starting.
I'll get a good
race.
Start.
Today's
Undoubtedly.
drivers need to master the 15 corners of Paul Ricard, 6 left-handers and 9 rights spaced around the 3.6-mile circuit. The longest section is the famous Mistral.
But will it be
Straight,
enough
split into 2
for me to hold
by a
on
colourful
to
chicane
the
which
points?
offers a potential overtaking hotspot. But the drivers there need to take care. Those bright
Where's my
coloured
wheel?
stripes don't
I don't
offer
have a
much
wheel.
grip and
I'm on a
won't be
controller.
kind to tyres.
Because
As we await the start of
I am
another
broke.
hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao,
As I said,
Alex.
I'm broke,
It's a pleasure
so
to be here.
call my
There are
dad.
nervy
My dad's
moments.
broke.
There is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
But yeah, I do want to get one at one point. When I've got a bit more cash, I'm gonna get one. All right, we're doing soft hard here. Wait, really? This is going to be a 2-stopper? Or a 1-stopper, rather? It's going to be 2 stints? No way we can do a... I might swap it over. Yeah. I'm going to swap it over because if the tyre deg is good on the hards, I might try and take him to the end. My dad supports which team? Mercedes. He's a big Lewis Hamilton fan. But again, I think he just likes Formula 1 generally.
The formation lap gets underway for this, the Formula 2 race, and every driver will be looking to...
I think it's why I have a bit of a, like,
making sure the car is
I don't
ready
know,
for battle once the lights
a bit of a
go out.
soft spot for Hamilton, even though I'm not like a fan of him necessarily. But yeah, predictions are open. Still about 2.5 minutes to get them in. If you do want to predict on what the outcome of this race is going to be, do you think I'm going to finish in the top 5? Yes or no?
We are almost
I would
ready to
say
start the Formula 2 race
I
as the
actually
cars
don't
take
know
their positions on the grid,
on this one.
with the drivers
I'm
and
starting
teams
8th.
making their final preparations.
So anything could happen. I have to make up 3 positions. I always get a good start against these guys. I will probably be in like 2nd or 3rd by the first corner. But whether I'll be able to hold on to that for the whole duration of the race, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But yeah, lining up on the grid slot in 8th. You can see me in the Campos. See if we can hold on to it. Any predictors? Alright, let's get into it. Alright, up to 4th already. Good stuff. Yeah, I did say I thought this might happen. Because it often does. Off the start. Always get blindingly good starts in career mode in this game. The AI are just terrible on the start, but they will come back. Dear DeBan, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Oh, I am on the hards as well.
That start was okay. Now stay alert.
So I probably shouldn't beat myself up too much if I'm a little bit slower than these guys on the softs. Wheel to wheel with Novalak. Who's getting the better exit here? It's me or him. We're pretty much wheel to wheel still. He's going to have the inside, so will I be able to sweep around the outside? No. No, and in fact now I'm coming under pressure from Sato. We can hold on around the outside. Oh my god. It's been wheel to wheel like this whole lap. Always appreciated talented racers like me. Yeah, I guess I'm okay at this game. I just try and keep things clean. I think that's probably my, like, biggest strength when it comes to these games. Is, like, I'm pretty, like... I'm pretty good at, like, racing, I would say. Like, my raw pace isn't that good. But I've done, like, online racing with, like, a lot of people, like, league racing and stuff with a lot of people who... They have quite good raw pace, but their, like, situational awareness and stuff like that just is not really there. So they'll have, like, a lot of incidents with people because they're kind of trying to put their car in a place where it's not really feasible. You know, like I've got some IRL friends who I've played this with on occasion, and like they're all pretty good when it comes to sort of raw pace. You know, I'd say that their raw pace is probably quite similar to mine, but I find that they get caught up in way more incidents than I do. Using traction control, medium. Not full, but not none. But the traction on an F2 car is honestly pretty easy, so I feel like using no traction control in F2 would be fine. But then I don't know, I would be worried about doing it in F1, because in the F1 cars it's a bit harder. Oh man, I really should have peed before I started this race. I might take a mid-race break or something. If I end up having to pit, then maybe I'll do it. I should have thought about that beforehand. I should have gone during the formation lap or some shit. Oh well, we're fine. We're fine. Do one race with cockpit view with elite assist, which is all the assists turned off. I don't know if that would be amazing viewing. I could try like going into Grand Prix and doing it or something. I think I would die very quickly. I have tried racing without assists before, but it's very tricky for a mere mortal like me. You want to see my real talent? Or my lack thereof? Man. Their tyres will start to go off soon, and then we should be hopefully a bit pacier. But unfortunately, they just have a bit more to offer. Oh dear, that was not particularly clean. A little bit of contact there, and very lucky not to spin the car. That's my fault. I just slightly misjudged where he was going to brake. Drive like a real driver? Yeah, well, I mean, without a wheel and pedals and stuff, it's still going to be a limited experience regardless of how many assists I have turned on. Or turned off. I would love to see a McLaren victory this weekend. I think that they're going to be in the hunt because it's an aero track. I think they'll have good pace, but whether they'll have enough to challenge Red Bull, I don't know. People are predicting Piastri would do it, but I think if anyone's going to win out of those two guys, it's going to be Norris. Norris clearly has the measure of Piastri this season. Does everybody eat fish and chips in the UK? Well, I do not, because I don't eat fish at all. But I don't know. I think it's like a fairly common thing people eat. It was very common in my my hometown because it was a fishing like town. But yeah, I don't know. Depends on whether you like it, I guess. I do think that the chips they serve at fish and chip shops, though, are like the most elite form of chip that there is. Nothing quite compares to them. I don't know how they do it, but they just don't taste like any other kind of like chips or fries I've had. Have GameStop over there? No, we have a few shops that are kind of similar in concept to GameStop. Like we have Console Exchange or CEX. Which is like a place where people sell like old games and consoles and movies and stuff like that. I don't actually think it's called. I don't think it actually stands for Console Exchange. It stands for something else. But yeah, it's called CEX. And I've bought like lots of sort of secondhand games and secondhand CDs and stuff from there before. But yeah, it's like it's a similar thing. They give you money for turning in some of your old stuff, and then you can buy stuff on the cheap there as well. And they even sell like, I don't know, old like games from lots of like generations ago. Like I still see like PS2 games on sale in there. I think I saw a copy of, I think it was Gran Turismo 3, maybe it was Gran Turismo 4, I can't remember, last time I went in there. And this was like, you know, a month ago or something. So yeah, I don't know, kind of cool. I thought about there was something there I thought about picking up that was a PlayStation 2 game, but I can't remember what it was now. It wasn't either of the Gran Turismos because I've got both of them. Yo, what's up, Wirewolf? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a absolutely thrilling Thursday, and welcome to the stream. Keep pushing. I'm trying. It's I think they're just on faster tires at the moment. Ooh, Firewolf, let's go. Thank you so much. You're the real MVP. Thank you for the resub. Thank you for the 10 months. 10 months, unbelievable. Real. Thank you so much for the 10-month resub. Much appreciated. And yeah, I hope you continue to enjoy the badge, the emotes, the ad-free viewing, the role in my Discord server, and the knowledge that you are helping me one day maybe turn this into a full-time gig. Pit after lap 13. Really? You think that late? I feel like the softs could do longer than that. I don't know. I feel like the softs could do like... It's saying to pit on lap 10. But then, I also wonder if the hards could do the whole race. Or would I just be really slow? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But yeah, it did cut it off in quite a weird place, didn't it? Strange. I think I'm going to try and do both of these races today.
Caution, caution.
Oh, yellow flag. That's someone ahead. Who's out? Iwasa. Oh, he was leading, I think. Disappointing for him. Alright, we're back up into P5. We've got Vesti on our tail.
Green flag. Green
I think
flag,
once I'm on the
racing
softs,
again. Let's go.
once I'm on the softs, and they'll be on the hards, then we should be, I don't know, should have a bit more pace over these guys, hopefully. And if not, then GG, I guess. I got DRS, but he's broken out of range now. I'm trying my hardest in Sector 3, but they're just so much faster.
We're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs.
You my race engineer? Is that what's going on here? Come on. Fuck, man. Tires are really, really not working for me for whatever reason. Somehow they've still got the pace over me. Possible to change fuel map? Negative. Negative. That's been banned in Formula 1 since 2020, I believe. I don't think you've ever been able to do it in F2. Oh, man. so much more pace.
Okay, focus. We need to stay on form.
Come on. Let's not give this up. Alright, nice. Held on to it for now. Who's in front right now? I'm trying to think. It's Vips, Novalak, Duan, and Sato. So neither of those people are ahead of me in the championship, or even close to me in the championship. So where we are right now isn't bad, to be honest. As long as Pourchaire and Cordial are behind, that's all I care about. Because those are the two drivers who are my biggest sort of competition right now for the title. I'm like 27 points behind Pourchaire or something ridiculous like that. He's going to put pressure on me again. He's got the DRS. I'm holding on like crazy right now. I think I'm going to box next lap. I think I'm just going to do it when they want me to. Push on the softs to the end. It'll be tricky, but hopefully I should have a lot more pace over them with me on softs and them on hards. Taking the pain early might be good because then we might have a bit of a smoother ride to the end. Alright, one more lap to defend this. And the gap to Sato is staying pretty consistent now. I think. It's only increased by like a few tenths this lap. I just need to make sure Vesti's not putting pressure on me, I think. That's the biggest thing. Because Vesti putting pressure on me is like costing me time to the cars in front. Let's see, what kind of time did I do that lap?
In this lap.
That was actually my fastest lap of the race. What the fuck? These are 9-lap-old tyres. Oh man, I love this song. All right, this is gonna be the motivational music I need to get back into it. Oh my god. What are these tyres on? Only 25%. They feel horrible. Jeez, dude. Yeah, they're still so much faster. Hopefully the softs will hold up then. If they've still got this much pace on the softs after 10 laps, when I'm on less fuel, doing 11 laps on them should be absolutely fine, hopefully. I should have a lot of pace over them, I hope. If they're only like a few tenths a lap faster than me as well, when they're on pacey softs versus my like hards, I should be okay. Let's see, I guess. Alright, come on. Let's have a good stop. 4 seconds or so would be good, I think. Nobody else is pitting now, so that also it benefits us. 4.0, beautiful.
Okay, let's go now. Come on.
All right.
That was a fantastic stop.
Undercut
Faster than
time.
we were expecting. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Yeah, these tyres instantly feel better. Let's see what the gap to the cars immediately in front does. Cordeel's in 18th. Holy shit. And that's going to be 19th after he boxes as well. It's coming down a lot. Like, I've already gained like a second on them this lap, and it's only been a sector. Yeah, I should gain a lot through Sector 1 and Sector 3. Sector 2 only has like 2 corners in it, so the gains there is going to be minimal. But yeah, I've gained on through them through there as well, to be honest. Like, I gained like another 4 or 5 tenths through that sector. Are they boxing this lap? They're not even boxing this lap. I think they're boxing the lap after then. Oh, someone's in. One of the Tridents? Is it Trident? No, Virtuosi. That's what it is. Yeah. One of the Virtuosis is in. I think that's Doohan. So I'd be very interested to see the gap between myself and Doohan. He'll come out ahead because he was 10 seconds ahead before the pit stop phase. But if he's down to like 7 or 6, we can work with this and probably get him before the end, I think. Damn, I've never seen a sprint with a pit before. But I guess it was necessary here. Alright, I'm jumping the rest of these guys. But I think I was ahead of all of them before. Yeah, Vesti, I have jumped. Doohan, the gap has come down by about 2 seconds. Maybe more than that even. Vesti, I've gapped by 4 seconds. He was piling pressure on me before the pit stop phase. So I think we saved about 4 seconds in that stop over everyone. And anyone who didn't pit that lap, I'm going to gain even more on. So Sato, I think we might actually be ahead of out of the pit stop phase. And look at how much we're still gaining on Doohan as well. Since he came out of the pits, we've gained a second on him. We could still be on for a podium here. We could still be on for a podium. This is very much a take the pain early kind of race for gains later. And, well, it appears to be working. Alright. Boschong's in.
Ralph's coming in for his stop now.
Yeah, I've gained like 3 seconds on Doohan over the course of this lap. What the absolute hell? This is a lot more than I was expecting. Could I win this then, potentially? Let's see what the gap to Novalak is, because he's about 2 or 3 seconds down on Vips. And the gap to Novalak is...
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the
11
race.
seconds. Okay. So, I think I could win this. If this pace persists for the whole rest of the race, which, like, obviously the softs will drop off eventually, but if I can keep up this pace... Oh, actually, there's a bigger gap than I thought between Vips and Novalak, so maybe the win isn't possible. But the podium absolutely is possible here, and probably P2 as well. We'll see whether I can close up on Vips or not. Yeah, I think that this is... I don't think this is out of the question, this victory. That would be sick. P8 to P1, could you imagine? Have you tried any open lobbies? Not yet today, no. We've just been doing career. Having issues at lunchtime joining a ranked race. Fair enough, Ad Hawkins. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried it. But I hope you're doing well anyway. I hope you're having a thrilling Thursday. Welcome to the stream. Winnable? Honestly, I think it is winnable. Let's keep an eye on the gap to Doohan again. We didn't take quite as much out of him on this lap. So it might not be. But let's see. Okay, we took like 2 seconds out of him this lap. Maybe a little bit less than 2 seconds. So we are going to catch him. Novalak, I think we can catch. Vips, I'm not so sure. I think Vips might just be a tad too far up the road to
Your
catch.
teammate behind is 13.1 seconds.
So my prediction is P2, I think. That's where I think I'll finish this race. I think I'll finish P2. If the tyres hold out. I think there is a way to check gap to first, I think. Is there not?
Fourth position. You're in
Maybe if I
fourth
try that.
position. Doohan just ahead. Push hard. Our gap to the car in front is 2.2 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards, and Sato's behind you. Okay, gap to the car behind. 8.9 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Our gap to first place is
11.4, there we go.
seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. And that's 8 laps to go.
11.4 in 7 laps. I'd have to gain about 1.5 seconds per lap on Vips every lap. It's not impossible, but it is going to be hard because I'm barely gaining that much on Doohan, and Vips is going to have more pace than Doohan. I'm going to have to push like hell and hope that the tyres just can take it. Yeah, we took 1.5 seconds out of Doohan that lap. Alright, we need to get past Doohan this lap. We need to overtake him with the DRS. The DRS is also going to allow us to catch the cars in front as well. Ooh, he had a big moment there. Alright, come on. With DRS, this should be a pretty trivial overtake, I think. Yeah, nice. Good stuff. 9.3 to Vips. We can win. We can win. I'm confident. Fastest lap this lap? I hope so. With the DRS, it should be, again, pretty trivial to get fastest lap. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the last couple of laps. By which point we will have taken the best out of the tyres. That's the one thing that could stop us in our tracks at any moment, is the tyres have just degraded too much. Because we've already been on them 5 laps, right? Why nobody watches your stream? I don't know.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Because you're lame? Nah, dude, look. It's all about just consistency. I think that's my biggest advice I can give to anyone. Is just consistent. Consistency is key. Like, you know, I've never been consistent in the past. And this year, I finally took up doing streaming consistently. And I've literally, like, I've grown so much this year compared to my usual growth in a year. And it's all just because, you know, I had, yeah, consistency and also, yeah, the other thing, networking. Yeah, raiding people, hanging out on other people's streams. Not like hanging out in people's streams saying, ooh, come and watch my stream, because that's probably going to give you the opposite of the effect that you desire. But like, if you're watching someone's stream and they invite you to talk about the fact that you stream, you know, just telling them, yeah, I like playing F1 and this is what I'm doing and stuff like that. Because some streamers do that. They'll be like, you know, oh, do you stream? Like, what kind of stuff do you do and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way. We are catching very quickly, the cars in front. Yeah, exactly. That's a big one that Ad Hawkins has said there. You raid someone, they're definitely going to shout you out. And if they don't, then, in my opinion, they're not a very good streamer. No matter the size, even if someone raids me with 1 viewer, I still will give them a shout out, because that's that's someone that they've decided they're gonna send their viewer over to me because they think I deserve it.
Okay, so we're
So
leading our
at least I can do is say to my followers, hey,
8 seconds.
if this guy sounds like your cup of tea, all right, 6 seconds in 5 laps, super doable. We should get DRS here. Just about, but I don't know if we'll be able to make the overtake. It's going to be close. Oh, do we have DRS actually? Yeah? Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, if you have to raid and run, you have to raid and run. But, you know, in those scenarios, it never hurts to say, like, yeah, sorry, I've got something I need to get to, like, you know, I hope you have a great stream, though. So just say something like that. You know, I do that all the time, because usually I eat dinner immediately after I stream. So, or I go and cook dinner immediately after I stream, at least. So, yeah, I don't usually have, I don't usually have a bundle of time to watch the stream that I raid into all the time. But I try and stick around when I can. Man, this guy is so slow, but I can't quite get past him. Around the outside. And then to the inside in the following corner. No. Suddenly he's got a bit more pace. Right, that's hamstrung our progress a little bit.
We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
We'll have to get him in the next DRS zone, I think. Tyres have started to go off a bit, I think. We might not get VIPs now, I think. Because we've been stuck behind Novalak for like a lap. Oh my god, dude. Okay, whatever. Where's the detection point? Fuck, it's further up. I'm going to let him go through. Against my better judgment, I don't want him attacking me with the DRS. I think we would have lost more time if we hadn't done this, as annoying as it is, because we have lost time to VIPs on this lap so far. But we're ahead of Novalak. Right, come on. Maximum push now. 30% on the right, the left front. I think we may have taken too much out of the tyres to beat VIPs. Let's see. Driving and chat reading skill is phenomenal. Thank you. Yeah, I've been streaming a very long time. Over 10 years, actually. So it's just kind of something I picked up over many years of streaming. Just about having your chat in an easy to read place that you can quickly glance across, and being able to read quickly is something that helps a lot too. I can imagine it's a lot more difficult when you're not, if you're like, I don't know, I know a lot of streamers who obviously stream in English despite it not being their native language, and I imagine that must be a lot harder to process what's going on in chat, whilst also, like, you know, focusing on the game at the same time. But yeah, I used to do speedrunning when I was a lot younger, so that was obviously like the game had to be your like maximum focus, but I still wanted to address the chat where I could. I think Vips has got our number, and honestly Novalak might get us back. I think we've taken too much out of the tyres. But yeah, I'm not taking enough time out of him anymore. We pushed hard, we got Novalak. Hopefully we can stay ahead of him. I don't think we're catching Vips though. But still, P8 to P2 would be a really solid result. And Vips isn't someone I'm too concerned about in the championship, I don't think. We'll check the standings after this. Hard to keep up with English chat? Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Mayan language. Like the ancient civilization, the Mayans. Do people still speak that? I tell you what, I have learned something today, if that's true. Whereabouts are you from, if you don't mind me asking? Just out of curiosity. Ooh, I did actually take a bit out of Vips that lap. Maybe this isn't over. Gap's 4 seconds. I've got 2 laps. I think we're going to be a little bit too far behind. I think like one more lap with this kind of pace. You're trolling? Oh, okay, I see. No, you had me. You fully had me. My GeoGuessr viewers are in shambles right now, having me ask that kind of question on stream. I had a bad entry into this. Where are you from? I don't know. Only you know that. With a name like Dear Deban. What does that sound like? I would guess maybe somewhere based on the name Deban. I would think maybe sort of Eastern Europe, perhaps, but I really don't know. I'm not familiar with the name. Could be anywhere, really. But Eastern Europe would be my guess. Far East is your guess? What, like Southeast Asia or India or somewhere like that? Potentially. But a single country, Thailand, Philippines, somewhere like that. Philippines is not out of the question. I have met quite a few people who are into this game who are from the Philippines.
Final lap.
And they do speak English over there as well. Out of the question. What, that he's from the Philippines? You know No Deban? Well then maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it didn't sound like a super Filipino name. A lot of people I know from the Philippines have sort of, I guess, like Spanish-sounding names to the average Westerner, which I guess probably is rooted in colonialism. Right next to China. What, the country you're from is right next to China? Okay. Well, that only narrows it down to about 15 countries. Let me think. Yeah, maybe like... I don't know. Depends on which part. Because it could be somewhere near closer to the Middle East, like Pakistan or India, or maybe something even further than that. Like I don't know where else though. Or it could be like Southeast Asia, kind of Vietnam or something like that. Vietnam might not be a bad guess. Vip spins last corner. I wish. We were still catching him, but just not by enough towards the end. We had good pace. India. Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I know quite a few Indian people who play this game. Do you know, I don't know if this is a weird question to ask. Do you know Beaver Sama, the F1 streamer? Because I raid him quite a lot, and likewise, he raids me a fair amount as well. Super chill guy.
GP today. So, Davide, how exactly did they set themselves apart?
Very well driven, yeah. I'd say it was pretty good from P8 to P2.
Consistency. Anyone
White
can be
first
quick
name,
for just one
Filipino
lap,
middle
but there's a
name,
difference between
Spanish
that
last name.
and being quick every lap.
Welcome to
Over and over
welcome
and
to
over.
Colonialism
If you can do that,
101,
if you can
Ken.
gain ground when your opponents make mistakes, but then not make mistakes on your own, you can just push and push.
But hey, you got a whole
And as they make
character
their
in the
way
Barbie
down to the
movie named
podium,
after
there's
you.
no denying the strength of the Hi-Tech GP team. It was an incredible performance today, and they fully deserve
Yeah, whatever.
to stand on the
Vips
top
went from
step.
what? P2 to inheriting P1 after Iwasa. Have the passion and talent, but no money to be a real racer. Yeah, I mean, who knows if I would have... Even if I had have made an attempt at doing it, you know, it still is an incredibly elite sport that you have to be very, very talented to make it. So who knows whether I would have been
And
able
now
to.
let's take a look at
But
the drivers' standings. Now then, Davide
oh, we actually got
Valsecchi, who
9
would you
from that
say
because we
was
got
your
fastest
driver of
lap
the
as
day?
well.
Well, after a drive like that, it's going to be Yuri Vips. Very clean, very smooth. He can be really pleased with that one.
And now
My
a
guy
look
went
at the team
P3 to
standings.
P1,
ART have
gets driver of the
extended their
day.
lead over
I go
the
P8 to
championship. Meanwhile,
P2.
good work from
Crickets.
Campos this weekend, who pushed themselves further up
Bastards.
the order.
18
After
points
all
off the
this drama,
championship
you'll be
lead now.
mad not to join us for the next race. We
And
hope
we're
to see you there.
starting
Take care.
P3 for the next race. And we are tied P5 with VAR and MP. And we might be able to get ahead of Virtuosi. I think Prema and ART are going to be too much to catch at the moment. Need Boschung to score more points. How many points has he even got? 19. Not good enough, Ralph. Has anyone not scored? No, Calderon's got the least with 2. Right, before I get into the next race, just quickly, I am going to take a short break because I need to use the bathroom. Let me close the prediction before I do, otherwise I will never remember to do that. Not that anyone predicted, but I did finish in the top 5. So for those of you who maybe believed in me from the sidelines, then yeah, on to the next track. No. There's another race to come yet. Yeah, it's going to be France again. A slightly longer race, the feature race. Sometimes there's some weird glitches with the tire strategies. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Yeah, all right. I'll be back in 1 second, guys. And then when I do, we will get into the next race. All right, what's up, my goats? I'm back. Let's get into it. Right, let me do... So I'm starting P3, right? Let's do a prediction. Will I win the race? Do I have one of those? Will I win the race? Yes or no? 5 minutes. There you go. Right, prediction open. Do you guys think I'm going to win? I'm starting P3 for this next one. So I would need to make up 2 positions and hold on to them. Certainly seemed like I had the pace to win in the sprint. So in this feature race, which is 30 laps this time, maybe I'll have the pace.
It's that time once again. Those last few moments of anticipation before lights out and the charge towards turn 1. Which of these young drivers will come out on top at Paul Ricard today? Stay with us to find out as we get today's race underway. Today's drivers need to master the 15 corners of Paul Ricard. 6 left-handers and 9 right, spaced around the 3.6 mile circuit.
Get your predictions in. You got about 4 minutes-ish, I'd say now. 4 minutes 10, yeah. 4 minutes 10 to get your predictions in. Where do you think I'm going to win the race? Only if you're in a country that allows making predictions. I know that some of them in Europe don't due to certain gambling rules.
And this is what the starting grid looks
but
like
if you do have channel points, feel free to put them down. Even 10 points. I would say the more likely outcome based on what I saw in the sprint is yes. I'd say yes is probably the more likely outcome. But if you're feeling like balancing the scales a little bit, if someone puts a lot on yes, which currently someone is, making it go up quite a bit, then maybe you could be bold and go no. Remember, if I finish anywhere other than first, then the outcome will be no.
Davide, is there anything
you could swipe some serious channel points.
The teams are all very competitive at the moment, so are we about to witness a push from anyone in particular?
Hi, Alex. The team will have been studying.
But I think I will probably take the lead off the start because I always get good starts.
Very interesting event today.
Especially if I start on the same compound of tyres. I didn't get an amazing start last time because I was on the hards and they were on the softs. But today we are starting on the... Okay, it's a 2-stop apparently. We're going hard, soft, soft. Yeah, hard, soft, soft. 14 on the hards, 10 on the softs, 6 on the softs. And one of those will probably be the set of softs we used before, I imagine. Which might be painful. But yeah, we'll go with that, I guess. You can always adjust the strategy on the fly. The tyres in F2 are so weird for these 100%
races.
races.
Gets underway for this, the Formula 2 race, and every driver
okay, top 8 all starting on hards, so I should get a good getaway compared to them. Need to watch out for Novalak and Iwasa, because they might make their way through the field on the softs. Maybe Hauger as well, even in 14th. Bro, it's weird seeing Hauger here. If you guys aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, do consider dropping it a sub. Because I do daily F1 23 My Team career mode over there. Maybe that's something you guys would be interested in, I don't know. But yeah, I've been going pretty hard on those videos lately. Yeah, it's another career mode I run alongside this one, which is a Twitch exclusive thing. The F2 driver career. We have the My Team career over on YouTube as well. So definitely worth checking out. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun making those videos. Wake up every morning, record for a few hours, and then edit them down. Do a voiceover. And I've got quite a bit of work ahead of me tonight because I didn't manage to get my video edited earlier. Oh, shit. We're ready to go. Oh, no.
Okay, mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD.
It's glitched. I've got a puncture.
Confirmed.
Fuck me. I can't believe they still haven't fixed this. This has been in the game since the beginning of the game. It's a tire glitch thing. Restart session. I don't think that's going to fix it.
Front left tire has a puncture.
I don't think that's going to fix it. It's because the tire allocations are wrong for the F2 weekends. because it doesn't factor in that there's 2 races. Which is weird, because it's fine if you do a sprint weekend in Formula 1. But, yeah, I'm just going to have to work my way around with this puncture.
You're showing a big drop in pressure in the rear right. You've got to puncture rear right tyre.
And then put some other tyres on. Do not flashback, take the loss. Yeah, no, I mean, even if I did, it wouldn't make a difference. I'm not going to retire. I'm just going to get back to the pits. I don't think I've got 4 flat tyres. I think the rear right and front left are punctured.
You've got to puncture. You've got to puncture.
And the other ones are just 100% worn. The ones with low temps are the ones that are punctured. Oh! Oh, Jesus. They finally got the yellow flags out for me. We do a little drifting. Alright, well, maybe based on that glitch, I should cancel the prediction. And maybe we can do, will I finish anywhere other than last? A lot of people are pitting. Maybe the glitch doesn't just affect me then, at least. I think all the soft compound runners are pitting. Okay, we're in. We made it. We made it back to the pits. And we're only 20 seconds down on the nearest drivers. Alright, how are one of these? 28%.
Right, let's go. Come
There's
on.
no way I'm going to be able to make it
Perfect
to the
job
end
from
on
you
2
and the
sets
crew
of
there,
these.
mate. We're delighted with
If these
that.
are already at 28% and the next set are also a used set. So I don't know quite what we're going to do
Alright,
here.
we'll be doing one more stop today. One
But,
stop left in this
well,
strategy.
I guess we just pray. The thing is, it's not every race. That's the weird thing about it, is that it's not every race that this happens. Like last race, the tyres were fine. I wonder if that's because we started in the wet. Because the Austria one we did was fine. That started wet and that was fine. I think the only saving grace for me here is going to be if the conditions actually go wet.
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain.
Which is
currently
unfortunate,
expected.
because that's not going to happen. I basically require a safety car to get me back into this race now. Or a red flag, which are both on. But these tyres are already 30% worn, so I don't really know what I'm going to do with these, you know? Like, just drive around on them for a bit, I guess, and then pit lap 12, apparently. Will they even last that long? Probably just about. But then I've got to try and manage 18 laps on another set of softs. You know, last race they were at, what, like 37, 38% after 11 laps? So, unless it's a fresh set that we're going on to, which is not, we're going to be in trouble, I think. I don't think we have enough tyres to get to the end. Full stop. Well, this is unfortunate. I think the goal here has to just simply be to finish not last. Goes your 250 channel points. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I assumed this glitch would be fixed 4 months into the game's life cycle. But maybe I'm literally the only person in the world that does 100% distance Formula 2 races. I should make a highlight of that and send that to EA, probably. Because it happened multiple times before, but I just assumed it would be known about, you know? I assumed I wouldn't have been the only person that's encountered that. But clearly if it's not fixed, then there must be some issue. Either that or they just don't give a shit about F2 at all, which is entirely possible. Because it's so... the implementation of F2 in this game is so half-assed. It's kind of remarkable. We're catching the cars in front by multiple seconds a lap, so we should theoretically be able to not finish last. But the tyres already don't feel great. Realistically, who buys an F1 game to drive F2 cars? I don't know. I just wish that the driver career was a bit more sort of, like, fleshed out. You know what I mean? Like, I wish there was more to it. Because they've only stripped away features from it as time's gone on.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
Like, I don't know. It would be nice to have, like, sort of like the whole reputation thing and, you know, attracting interest from Formula 1 teams as you go on in your F2 career and stuff like that. And, you know, why not make it like rivalries in F2? And it's like, if you win the rivalry, then you will get picked up by a Formula 1 team. But if you lose it, then they'll pick up another driver instead. And, like, if you don't do well enough in Formula 2, then you have to spend, like, another year down there or something like that, you know. Only if that's what people wanted, obviously. Like, give people the option. But I just think the driver career generally has a lot of untapped potential. And it would be nice to see them tap into it, simply. Fastest lap.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done.
Fastest lap on supremely worn out softs. Is a good feeling. If these guys in front are doing two stoppers, then this might not be Omega over, because then all I need to do is just recover 20 seconds to everyone. Because that's about what I lost. Well, it's more like 30, actually, but still. I think points here is still possible. It will be hard, but it is still possible. But yeah, I've seen some of the weirdest glitches I've ever seen in Formula 2. Like the Monaco Grand Prix, the sprint race was fine for the most part. But then the feature, we had a red flag, and then the restart, and then immediately another red flag, and then the restart, and then immediately another red flag, and then the restart. And then a safety car immediately at the restart. And then, so this was like lap 8 or 9 by this point after all the red flags. We'd done like no running, basically. And then, yeah, safety car gets underway on like lap 9 or 10 or something, I think. And then the race just inexplicably ends on lap 15 of 42. But yeah, we're catching everyone in front by like 2 seconds a lap at the moment. Well, not everyone in front. But Calderon and Vershaw we're catching by 2 seconds a lap. And we are, generally speaking, catching the cars in front. So I still think there is a real chance of us getting a decent result here. And if there's a safety car or a red flag, we're literally right back in it. But yeah, I think it would be really cool if they did like a whole career progression system. And I think the other thing that it could really do with is like regens. I think could be really cool. Like, rather than just having like the drivers that they have and that's it forever, you know, like the Formula 1 drivers and the Formula 2 drivers. They should have like, you know, in like season 8, there's like some kid who's like 18 or whatever that makes his way into Formula 1. And, you know, when you would have started, he would have been like 10 or 11. So like nobody had heard of him. You know, it doesn't have to be based on a real person. But I think that could be a cool concept. Because it seems a lot more realistic than just having, you know, like the same pool of drivers to pick from the whole time. And I don't know, I think that could be a really cool thing. And yeah, and also like more dynamic rating as well. Like I know that driver rating for each driver does change over time, but I find that it's not like, if you do enough seasons, you end up having a 75-year-old Lewis battling a 60-year-old Max. Well, the maximum number of seasons you can do in career mode anyway is 10, so no. But also, drivers can retire. It's just that new drivers don't get added to the pool of drivers that can come into Formula 1. So the only drivers that can enter Formula 1 are Formula 2 drivers from 2022 in this year's game. So eventually, like, if every Formula 1 driver was to retire, for example, Formula 2 would be populated with, you know, Felipe Drugovich, Liam Lawson, I'm trying to think who else was even there. Amaury Cordial, I guess. Dennis Hauger, Jahan Daruvala, you know, all of these people. But after that, I don't think the Formula 2 drivers can retire. At least not to my knowledge. I've never seen it happen, but I've also never played a career mode long enough to see it happen. The longest career mode I did was 7 seasons. And, you know, a fair amount of the older drivers had retired by that point. Even Gasly had retired by that point. Perez had retired, Hamilton had retired, Alonso and Vettel had retired, Bottas had retired. Alonso actually did, I think, 6 seasons on last year's game for me before he retired. So he would have been about 46 or 47 by the time he retired, which is kind of crazy. But on this year's game, he retired after 2 seasons. Which is a bit more realistic. The only drivers I've had retire so far have been Hamilton and Alonso. The next most likely ones are usually Bottas, Perez, I guess now Hulkenberg, now that he's back on the grid, Magnussen, Sainz would probably be one that might be realistic. I even saw someone had Stroll retire in like season 3 or 4 of theirs, which, well, maybe that's not as unrealistic as it sounds, since there is talk about him sending it up to tennis, which would be bizarre, but, you know, to each one's own, I guess. This tyre we're looking like 57% on the front left, and we still got to do 4 more laps on these. Novalak's pitted. Again, I think. I think he started on the softs, no? And he's going on to a set of hards. Most likely to the end, I guess. Alright, he's 10 seconds down on us, which I think suggests to me that we can at least beat all of the people who also started on the softs. Which is, what, Calderon, Vashaw, Lawson, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 others. So that would take us up to P14. Beyond that, I think it's going to be hard. %60 front left. We still got to do 3 more laps on this tyre. I'm not sure that's possible. It's going to be really close. I'm going to have to keep a permanent eye on this. And probably take it quite conservative with the tyres. Because we're going to have to do about 4% wear per lap. Which might be too little. We're still breaking away from Novalak though. And we're still catching the cars in front. So that's the critical thing. For sure pitting now. Yeah, it's going to have to be about 4% per lap from this point onwards. Else we're going to have to try and just box a lap early. If we're at beyond 71% when we round that final corner before the pit lane, I'm going to have to box a lap early.
Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs.
And we'll have to do lap 11 pit stop instead. Because I can't risk taking these over 75. If I get another puncture, I'm out. It's just over. I think Novalak is actually gaining on me a little bit. Oh, Porsche got screwed over by the tyre strategy. That's huge. I think Cordial did too, right? Am I imagining that? I might check the race director. Yeah, Cordial did too. Okay, well, this is good actually. Because it means even if we're in a bad position, our rivals are as well. And I can always score points in future races. Right, 64% on the front left. It can't go above 60. It can't be 67 before the end of this lap, or I'm going to need to box next lap, I think. Because that's about 5% per lap. If it's 66 at the end of the lap, I'm going to risk it. I think we're going to be okay. But we're going to go right to 75, I think. And the cars in front are 44 seconds up the road. Yeah, I don't think points are happening here, fellas, unless there's a safety car. If there's a safety car right now, that would be, like, the most amazing thing that had ever happened. Like, within these next 2 laps, if there's a safety car, we're right in the money. Yeah, I think we're looking good on the tyres. Should be able to get to the pit stop window without puncturing them. But then we're supposed to be going on to another set of softs. So I'm not sure really what's up with that.
Be aware the car behind has newer tyres.
And apparently they're used. So do I have a set of hards? No, I've only got used softs or wets. The problem is they don't let you see the tyre allocation at any point. Apart from it when you're in quali, I think, is the only time you actually get to see the tyre allocation. Or in practice. So yeah. I don't know. I feel like I should have taken that set of hards last race, the whole race. But then you need to do a set of a lap on a set of hards at some point during the feature. So if they only give you one set of hards over the course of the whole weekend, I don't know how that's possible. Because you should have at least one for practice, one for the race, one for the feature, and one for the sprint.
This lap, give us the best
in my
lap
experience, of the hardest compound available. And likewise, you need to have a set of softs for quali, and at least a set of the softer compound for the feature race, at minimum. But because I used the softs in the last one, and then it fucked my hards, like destroyed my hards, I think we're just boned.
Okay, those tyres are going to fall off the cliff soon. Take extreme care.
Yep, 71% on the front left. They should add DLC guns in this game. Maybe it's like a bonus mode or something, but I don't know if sponsors would take kindly to the idea of people shooting at cars that they have their logos on, you know. But hey, there's the F1 car mode in GTA racing, right? Grand Theft Auto. That's a thing. I'm actually really curious how I'm going to make it to the end of this race. I've got to do 18 laps on what they're telling me is a used set of soft compound tyres. And given that I think these were my quali tyres, this can only be the set of softs I was using in the previous race, right? I don't have any other soft tyres, I don't think, that I used. Well, we're going to find out. Yep.
Okay, off we go. Back into the race. Perfect job.
Yeah,
on
these are the
turn
tyres
there,
I was
mate.
using in
Looks
the
like a
previous
nice
race.
stop time. We're happy with that one.
So, well, now we pray that our car breaks down.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
We want to finish the race on, checks notes, 45% worn tyres. Finish on the wets? That's honestly the only way I think we're going to be able to do this, Ad Hawkins. I think we're going to have to go on the wets. In the dry. We'll take these to like 70-ish first. And then the lap they tick over to 70. We'll switch to the wets, I guess. What the fuck is this? This is wild. Keep emptying your water bottle over them. Should stop them overheating. I think the team is going to have to throw a bucket of ice water at my car as I go past the pit lane every lap. Jack Doohan's out. Safety car? Safety car, 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 safety car. It's not coming, is it? God damn it. But hey, at least I'm going to be P21 instead of P22. We will not finish last, but we will finish last on track at the rate we're going. Especially because I doubt I'm going to have more pace on the wets than these guys on the hards. Where are they getting these tyres from? That's what I want to know. Like, where have these tyres come from? And why... I think that this glitch has only affected me. But, I don't know.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
This is miserable. Doohan retired like a lap ago. In fact, the leader of the race, whoever it is, I'm not sure, I think it's Dragovic, was in the same sector as me at that point. So I think we could finish this race a lap down if we have to go on the wets. This is some grade A bullshit right here of the highest possible degree. Why am I lost? Well, have I got a story for you? So, the strategy I was supposed to be running was taking a set of hards for about, I don't even remember how long, set of hard tyres, like 12 laps or something like that, and then doing 2 stints on used soft tyres, which I didn't really understand why that was the strategy to begin with. But I was like, okay, that's fine, that's passable, I guess. So I was like, okay, we'll do that. We'll take that, and we'll see what we can do. So I start the race, and anyway, my tyres are literally all at 100% tyre wear. 2 of them puncture instantly, and I have to limp home to the pits. Which I do, but I'm then 20 seconds down on everyone else, at least 20 seconds down. And I have only 2 sets of used softs available to me, one of which I've now used, and basically used to completion. One of them was like 70-something% worn. So yeah, that's gone. Those tires are gone. And now I'm on another set of used softs, which started out life as 40% worn. I think they were the tires I used in the previous race. And these are supposed to go to the end of the race. Now, they're 55% worn on the front left, and I have been on them for 3 laps. Not even. So I'm thinking they're not going to make it to the end. So, yeah, that's why I'm lost. Because I had 2 insta-punctures, and for some reason I don't have any tyres available to me for this race. I'm convinced this is a really, strange oversight that they just haven't allocated tyres properly for F2 weekends. Because there's much random weird stuff that happens in Formula 2 races. It's never usually like this. Sounds rough? You could say that. I was 3rd on the grid. I qualified 3rd, and I am not going to finish any higher than 21st unless someone else retires from the race. The thing is, I will obviously submit because I'm assuming nobody else has submitted this glitch, because I have had this once or twice before in other races this season, but I assumed by now it would be fixed, but I guess it's not. So I'm gonna have to submit this to the forums myself, I guess, and hope that EA fix it. But I think the chances of it getting fixed at all are pretty slim. And the chances of getting fixed before I finish this Formula 2 career are even slimmer, given that this is race, 9 of 14? And I'm planning on doing this at least once a week. At least sort of one race weekend every week for the rest of the season. So, yeah, I think that the chances of getting fixed before I finish the F2 career and it doesn't affect me anymore is pretty slim. But who knows? Maybe I'll be able to convince them to get it fixed for next year's game, when I inevitably torture myself with this again. Because this glitch isn't a thing in F1. I know that for a fact. Not even on sprint weekends is it a thing in F1. I wonder if they're, I guess they probably are, going to add this sprint shootout format that they've got in real Formula 1 to next year's game. Because I guess the reason it's not in this year's game is because it got announced in April, and this game was supposed to be shipping in June. Assuming it lasts until next season, I reckon they'd have to. Do you think they do? Do you think they do ATA qualifying as well? Do you think all of that stuff's like too confusing to do like all of it, like add it in? Like where you're forced to use a set of hards in Q1 and that kind of thing? Because they've done that at a few qualifying sessions this year. I would be interested to see. I think ATA qualifying makes a lot of sense personally. And I would love to see it like for every race. It's an experiment too, so if it stays then again, I think they'd have to. Yeah. Because I think if they do ATA qualifying next year, they probably just do it at every race weekend, right? And then Zhou Guanyu can have only insane qualifyings. I really like Zhou Guanyu. I know like he's not everyone's cup of tea, and the Alfa Romeo are a bit of a anonymous team. But I don't know. I think he's a talented driver, and if he's in a more competitive car, I think he would have the potential to fight for points, maybe even podiums. I don't know if he would be a race-winning driver. I think he'd have to get quite lucky to win a race. But I could easily see him, like, you know, helping a more sort of talented driver to the Constructors' Championship, you know? I think he could be a very dependable number 2 driver at a top team. Because he's quite consistent, is the thing about him. Apart from that one weekend where he did really badly in Hungary, because he kind of just panicked off the line, basically, and then crashed into 2 people. If we discount that one performance, which is unfortunately what a lot of people bring up when it comes to Zhou, I think he actually has quite a bit more potential that people aren't talking about. He's about the only driver that I've ever seen who people really, like, didn't expect things of coming into Formula 1, who actually, like, did halfway decently. You know, like, Sargent, everyone was like, oh yeah, he's going to be crap. And he kind of has been. Latifi had the same thing. Sorokin had the same thing. Who else was there recently that everyone just was like, yeah, he's probably going to be rubbish, and he was. Gosh, I can't remember now. Capitalism sucks. Yo, what's up, BFAR? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a thrilling Thursday. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Long time no see, dude. Hope everything is going well with you. Yeah, there's definitely been other drivers. Mazepin was who I was thinking of. And Schumacher to a certain degree as well. Mazepin and Schumacher, everyone said, yeah, they're not going to be great when they came into F1. And, yeah, I mean, they weren't. So, yeah, I think Zhou is about the only one who I've actually been, like, impressed by. Am I really going to have to go on the wets? Surely that's not... Surely it's not a thing.
Be careful, the tyres have deteriorated significantly at this point.
You know,
Okay,
I'm going to finish
Ralph is
last
in the
anyway.
pits. Ralph is in the pits now.
Maybe we could just do an experiment where we see what happens if I lose all sets of tyres. Like, how does the game cope if I have, like, all, like, punctured sets of tyres? If I've got nothing to go on. If I've got nothing to go on, what will the game make me do? What strategy will it put me on? I'm really curious. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Finish the race on wets? Or experiment and see what happens if I shred all of my dry tyres? I think I'm going to do the latter. Because finishing on the wets, like, it'll work, but it's just going to be boring. Whereas, if I kill all of my tires, at least we learn something about what happens with that. You know, I could make a clickbait YouTube video. What happens if you use all of your tires? Because we'll probably puncture this set quite shortly. And then it will... I think if we puncture this set, it will switch me back onto the set I was on before. Which means... I should be able to puncture that one quite quickly as well, I would imagine. At least that's my guess. I don't know that to be true. But, like, surely if I have a puncture, they've got to try and put me on an alternative strategy. They can't just let me drive around with a puncture for however many laps. I feel like that would trigger a safety car first. And then we're in the cash. As long as I don't get lapped, which...
Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now, look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look.
Okay, what's the strategy?
Copy.
So we're stopping this lap. What are we going on to? Pit window, lap 42. What number even is that? 4.2 billion. That's an overflow if ever I've seen one. So are we boxing this lap or... Yes, we are. Okay. What tyres am I going on to? Used softs, apparently. Ferrari pit crew strats. How's it going, DJ Clockwise? Alright, this is really interesting to me. I'm really curious. Show that number again. I can't anymore. It's gone away. But it was 4.2 billion.
Okay,
What
mate,
tyres are
that's it.
these?
Go,
Yeah,
go.
these were the
That
ones
was a
I was on
good turn
before.
in there, mate. That's earned us a decent pit stop time.
So, surely they're just going to keep swapping them back and forth now? If that's the case. If these are the only two sets of tyres we've got. 2 to the 32 minus 1? Probably. Is 2 to the 32 minus 1 somewhere in the range of 4.2 billion? Because if the answer is yes, then that's almost certainly what it was. Yeah, here's the number again. 4,249,967,295. Yes, there you go. So it's an overflow. All right, well, what we're doing now is we're collecting data for Codemasters, effectively, is what we're doing. Interesting, they call themselves Codemasters when I'm experiencing this. But, you know, they do make the game that I spend hundreds of hours of my life playing, so maybe I should cut them a bit of slack. Stopping this lap, push. Gonna be going for a while. They didn't say anything about us stopping this lap, to be fair, so... We'll see. We'll see what happens. We have the pit lane indicator again. Should we try it? What the fuck is going on? I'm gonna highlight this whole thing and send it to the forums, I think. What are they putting me on? The same set of hards I was on, the same set of softs I was on before, I guess.
Okay, go. That was a fantastic stop.
Surely I'm
Faster
gonna
than
get
we
a
were
puncture
expecting.
on both of them. They're not putting me on the full wets, so that's something that it doesn't do.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit.
We're getting
You'll
laps
receive a
now,
penalty for dangerous
but I
driving
want
if
to try
you
and
cross onto the track.
I want to try and push hard on the tires. I don't want to. I don't want to just what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't want to drive slowly, because then I'm gonna have to I'm gonna probably save tire deg doing that. Add far too much lock into the slow corners, overheat the fronts. Yeah, I could do that. I think they'll do it by themselves, to be honest. I can't believe I'm trying to puncture my tyres. I never thought that this would be the level I would get to, but since this race is a lost cause, I figure, you know, we might as well do some science. So we're ending the race on lap 29 now, so I need to be cognizant of that as well. I think we just try and push as long as we can on these tyres, and then once they've punctured, then we pit for the other ones. Because there's no way they're lasting the remainder of the race. And then once we switch onto the other set, then we'll see what happens. When those puncture, that's when this gets really interesting, because the game can't put you back on a set of punctured tires. That's why I'm in this mess in the first place, is because it instantly killed those hards. If it hadn't, I would have been fine. So I'm wondering what the like the maximum like you can get to before they absolutely puncture is. I think you can go to 100 and sometimes they still don't puncture. Because that's what happened with those hards at the start, right? They were all like 100 immediately, but only some of them were punctured. But there's no way these last more than, like, next lap, I reckon. Surely. They can't. They just can't. At least I've still got some rears, I guess. The fronts are totally gone, but the rears are fucked. Sorry, no, the rears are doing okay. The fronts are fucked. Uh, 82 and still no puncture. I might get lapped twice here. If you accelerate against the wall, the tyre wear goes up a lot. Yeah, I want this to happen authentically, though. I don't want it to be... Because I want it to be that I do everything I can to stop this from happening. To prove to Codys that they have a broken game, basically, here. Like, to show exactly what happens with this glitch. Because then, you know, they could always just turn around and say, like, oh, well, the reason why your tyres punctured was because you drove up against a wall or whatever. But I want to see what happens if you run out of tyres. Because I've only got one other set. And they're already, like, over 75%. It's gotta go. It's gotta go, like, this lap, surely. Surely there's no way it makes it to 100 and doesn't puncture. Maybe they won't puncture if you have no other sets? Is that like the game's failsafe, that the tyres just don't puncture? I feel like that surely can't exist. Like, surely that's not a thing.
Blue flag, blue flag.
I can't risk getting a penalty. I'm going to have to slow up a bit here. As long as I'm accelerating hard into the corners, we should be fine. Or, not accelerating. Well, accelerating hard out of the corners. Putting load through the tyres. That's what matters. I don't think it matters if we slow up after the initial exit from the corner. Alright, through you go. Whoever you are. My teammate. He's in the points! Let's go. Well, silver linings, I guess. At least Ralph Boschung's getting some points. Yo, Jody, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a Thrilling Thursday. Good to have you here. I'm doing good. We're currently doing a science experiment. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Tire's gone. Front right, fully punctured. Yeah, they won't put me back on these now. All right, let's see. Last set of tyres, and it's only a few laps away from puncturing as well. At least it happened near the pits. That's like the one saving grace we've got here. Yo, what's up, Ayrton? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have a having a thrilling Thursday. Welcome to the stream. What are we doing? So basically, I have uncovered a glitch with Formula 2 in this game, where you don't have a sufficient number of tyres, as in sets of tyres, to be able to do a full Formula 2 race weekend. Because a Formula 2 race weekend consists of 2 long races. I did one, it was fine, but then
Okay, let's go now.
I started this race on a basically completely destroyed set of tyres from the get-go. They were completely worn out. And, oh, it's happened immediately. Wait, no! What? I've got a hard on the front left. And it's punctured. What the fuck? This is even weirder than I thought it was going to be. This is even stranger than I expected it was going to be. They put me on a mismatched set of tyres, but then it's also just immediately broken. No? Is it punctured? I can't tell. It's definitely 100%. But I can't tell if it's punctured. I think it's punctured. It must be punctured, surely. It's 100%. But I'm wondering if this is one of the tyres from the beginning. And I think the front left wasn't punctured, if I remember correctly. Tyre status radio message. Good call, good call. Is there a tyre status? Oh, tyre status. Here we go.
Box, box, box. You got a puncture.
You got a puncture. Okay. I do have a puncture then. It's not really affecting me very much. I'm like prime Lewis Hamilton. So, what tyres are they going to put me on? Just start putting me on random mismatched sets, I guess. I don't really know. That's like all I can think of. If I'm on a hard and a soft, I need to just submit this whole race to them, I think. Because this whole thing has just been so weird. Alright, I'm coming in. Next tyre's wet. That's what it says. Am I going onto the full wets? Let's find out. Yep, those are the wets. Those are the wets. We've done it. We've successfully blown all of our tyres.
Right, let's go. Come on.
Well,
Perfect job
we're
on
going
the
to the
turn
end
there,
on the
mate.
wets, I
Looks
guess.
like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
All right, but here's what I'm now interested in. This is just an untapped, like, fountain of curiosity for me, quite frankly, because now what I'm wondering is if they're on the wets but we're in the dry, how do they get around this? Oh, we think you're on the wrong tires. Change strategy message. Do they just not do it, or what's the dealio? I'm really curious. I don't think I've ever been more curious about something in this game. I'm going to be honest. I've stopped, what, 6 times? These tyres are going to wear out quite quickly because they're going to overheat like crazy after like the first lap I'm on them. I don't think they're going to get to the point where they're going to puncture. And even if they do, we do have another set of full wets. So we're not going to blow all of our tyres. But wow, this is so interesting to me. I have uncovered a absolutely game-destroying glitch. Like, this isn't even like a little thing. This is literally like it ruins the entire game. I think we're going to have to make that prediction null and void, guys, about me winning the race. I don't think you fuckers who guessed yes ever stood a chance. Was not a fair matchup. But my god, what a weird glitch. And yeah, they're overheating a lot already. We're already on 11% on the front left. Maybe we can wear them out by the end of lap 29, because we're a lap down at the moment on the front runners. So, if they get hotter, that's going to burn them out super quickly. Like, we should be going up like 1% every time. They're not telling me to change. But yeah, the wets do like no laps in the dry. They do less laps than the softs in the dry, which is so funny because you think about how many laps they can do in a wet race. You can go like the whole race on them, right? Usually. Sometimes you got a box, but like in some races you can go the whole race. Whereas I've been on these for what, 2 laps and they're already at 20%, almost. By the end of this lap, they will be at like 25%, I think. What's the temps looking like? Yeah, 93 on the front left. 94. If you overheat them too much, can they just insta-puncture? I don't think it's going to matter, because like I said, we've got another set of wets. But at least, maybe it'll tell me, like, what the, like, what will it say in the next tyres thing? Because that is the last possible set of tyres we have. 96 on the front left. Can we get much higher? 97. These got to be wearing out so fast. 22 and 22, yeah. I don't think they're going to puncture before the end of the race. Unless you can puncture them just through heat. Which I've never seen before. I think usually it just increases the rate of wear and drastically reduces your grip. They're going to cool down a little bit over this straight. We're back down to 96. A whopping 96 degrees on tyres whose operating window is what? About 80 degrees? Give or take. I think they usually work in the range of about 75 to 85, anything like that. After that, you're pushing it a bit. We'll keep an eye on the temps, because they'll tell us if it punctures. What are they going to say if I ask them about tyre status? I'm curious.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Well, I'm glad we did this experiment, because this is, I don't know, one of the most bizarre like situations I've ever encountered on this game. And I don't have any other tyres, right? I've only got wets, yeah? Yeah, I tried to change that, and it wouldn't let me. Well, I'm going to call my VOD, what happens if you puncture all of your tyres in a Formula 1 weekend, or something like that. Because that is clickbait, and that's how the YouTube game works. 98 degrees on the front left. This is critically overheating. 37%, yeah. If I could have done a few more laps on these, if I'd have punctured those other tyres earlier, then maybe we could have found out what happens if you puncture the wets as well. I could try driving up against the wall, I guess. Yeah, it auto recovers me from there. I definitely heard it rubbing, though. Didn't seem to make a difference, unfortunately. Dragovic wins. That's whatever. Okay, I need to find somewhere where it's not going to auto recovery me to drive up against the wall. Maybe here? No, it still does it. I was even turning into the wall and everything. Uh-oh. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to puncture this set, no matter how hard I try. We got close, but just not close enough, sadly. Interesting experiment, though. Well, I'm glad we were able to turn this race into something that was at least, like, interesting. Like a curiosity, you know what I mean? Even if I would have liked to win it. At least, I think the saving grace here is that I don't think Pourchaire or Cordial scored. So, I should not lose too much ground to them in the championship. But I'm sure someone will have gained, you know. We'll find out who, but someone had to have done. Christ. What a horrible race.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
I have never seen anything like that. But it was worth it, just for the novelty of it. It was worth it.
Well, that may not have been the finest race in history, but there's no question that was a critical win.
May not have been the finest race in history. Like, you can say that again.
Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and tire strategy, what has occurred on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
God, what a weird race. What
Our
an
drivers are making
utterly
their way out for the podium celebrations,
bizarre
and it's
race.
going to be MP Motorsport picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
Work call, so I missed the end. What was the conclusion? Well, I in the end, they put me on the full wets because that was the only tyres I had left. I tried to overheat the full wets so much that they punctured, but I couldn't do it. I got to like 50% on them, but I couldn't do it. I probably, if I'd have done like donuts or something, maybe I could have done it. But whatever.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Let's give it to Felipe Drugovic. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
On to the teams then. Prema moved to the top of the table. Another team that will be satisfied with this race is Charouz, whose good result moves them further up in the championship. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling installment when Formula 2 returns.
What a weird thing. Anyway, we're still 18 points off of Pourchaire because I don't think he did score in that race. No, he finished 13th. And what's his name? Cordial was 17th. But we have had a few people gain on us in the standings. Vip, Stragovic, and Daruvula are now just a few points behind us. So we can't really have that happen again in a feature race. And yeah, that is that. How many... What's the next round? Is this Hungary we're going to next? Yeah, Hungary. Okay, so we'll do that next stream, I think, because obviously I don't have time for it right now. But yeah, that is... I don't know what round number this is. I think round 10 of 14. We can maybe see if I go to the menu. Should hopefully tell us. Yeah, round 10. So 5 more rounds in this championship. And then we're finally going to make it through to F1. I think regardless of what happens, even if I don't win the championship, it's fine. I should still make it as long as I finish in this sort of ballpark that I'm in now. So yeah, we just got to keep pushing hard, I think. Because I think there is a way that you don't make it. Because I'm on the higher like difficulty setting for that. Anyway, I'm done with stream, I think. Because I would go for like another half hour or so. But I don't really think there's much point doing like 2 open lobby races. And we might not even get people in. We might just be sat here waiting for people to join. So I think I'm just going to raid out. We'll see who is streaming. Oh, there's like no one. Okay. Any friends of mine streaming? Maybe I'll just raid Geds. He was here earlier. Yeah, I think I'm just going to raid Geds. Can you view lobbies? Wonder if it's fixed? Let's have a look. Multiplayer Grand Prix. What, just browse? Or someone was doing open lobbies. So what were you having issues with specifically? Was it that you couldn't join lobbies, or you couldn't host it, or random disconnects from the online stuff as a whole? Ah, okay. Well, it seems fine now. So whatever it was, clearly it's working again. Right, yeah, like I said, I think I'm going to raid Geds, because he was here earlier. He's doing GeoGuessr. It might not be your thing, but please do at least just say hi and all that kind of stuff. He's a cool guy, really friendly, and he's here quite often, so yeah, good friend. I will be back tomorrow with GeoGuessr. So if you do want to check that out, then feel free to. At the weekend, I don't know what's the deal with streaming and stuff like that. I think I'm going to maybe do an F1 Manager stream on Sunday if it all goes according to plan, but don't hold me to that because it might just not happen. If you're a sub, then feel free to use the Vegan Bucks emote as a raid message. Otherwise, I don't know, just put like Realm raid, maybe with the Tomb Raid emote, like that. And yeah, I have a new YouTube video coming out in 24 minutes. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, go and do that, as it says at the link above. Join my Discord if you haven't already, because we have an F1 channel in there, which you can talk about all things F1 game, F1 in real life, if you want to. Follow my TikTok for daily clips of my F1 videos, and also sometimes of my F1 streams as well. And check out my Twitter if you want to keep updated with pretty much everything else that I do online. That's it. You got my whole online presence summed up into 4 succinct platforms. Anyway, I'm out of time. The raid's about to start, so have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.